Friend can't lapse. We walk the talk, just ask me about chats. So come through, let's talk about it. What you say? Oh, your girl HP is on her mark, so get set ready.
On your mark, set, go.
Oh yeah, make we chat about it.
Alrighty, righty. We are back and we are back and we are back and we are back. It is good evening. It is Thursday. Oh my God, it is Thursday again. It is Thursday. Back to regular, what they would call it, regular programming. It's
Right. Yeah.
Thursday, a regular Thursday. Welcome. Welcome each and everyone. Welcome wherever in the world you are. Welcome. Welcome anywhere you are in the world. Welcome. And with me, of course, we're continuing the discussion. We're continuing Paris. Paris is over. The Olympic Games is over, of course, but the discussions continue. And I just want to welcome each and everyone. Welcome each and everyone to the platform, to the program. We're back to our normal programming. And Jamaica was fun. Jamaica was a lot of excitement and fun. Of course, it was a bittersweet Olympic Games for Jamaica, as we call it. But we are back. We just want to thank, the Jamaica Pegasus for hosting us for over a week. Singer Jamaica Limited for that lovely television that we gave away, that 50-inch television. Wet Sundays continue. HV Entertainment, Micah Ware, everybody. And of course, Akil, who was he was my analyst, he was my data bank, a doctor in the making. And of course, Ozzy, my regular co-host and a member of this platform. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome. How are you, gentlemen, doing after Paris?
Me yield to Aki. You go ahead.
I'm alright.
As a younger man.
I'm
That's it.
alright.
You're all right.
I
Okay.
was,
Well,
very emotional.
Okay. Well,
go
I'm not
ahead.
so
Sorry about
alright.
that. I
I'm
was
not
saying
so
that.
alright. I'm suffering from withdrawal symptoms.
Indeed.
I mean, after what? How many days was it? 11 days. Well, 10 real track and field. Yeah, I'm getting up at 3 in the morning. 3
Man,
hours stint.
oh
Another
God,
4 hours in the afternoon.
I am
It's
still tired. I am tired. I need some
um,
serious sleep. I need to just turn off my phone, lock away everything, lock away everybody, and just get some good sleep. But you know something? It was worth it. It was worth it for me. It
oh yeah.
was.
I did it all. I did that all throughout this week. Like I was sleeping all week. All
Yeah,
week I
man,
was sleeping.
I need to get some sleep. I have not been catching up on my sleep, and I need to get some sleep. But guys, wherever you're coming from, welcome back. Welcome back. HP Chat Track is in the building, and of course, with me, I always have the men in the building. Akil, Henry, a brilliant mind, a young man who is on his way to greatness. He was alongside me for the entire duration of the track and field coverage of the Olympic Games that just concluded in Paris. And the young man know his stuff. And of course, Ozzy, who will be giving us his insight. Well, all of us will be giving you our insight. But Paris was Paris, and Paris is over. But the discussions, a lot of discussions, are continuing. A whole lot of them, and we are going to get into some of them tonight. Gentlemen, let us start looking at some events, because we're going to look at some events, we're going to look at some of the rules, we're going to look at Paris overall, and we're going to look at some of the concerns that we have with federation clashing with federation, athletes clashing with federation, and the whole works continue. So let us start looking at some events first. Let us go to the track first. Let us go to the track first.
Okay.
Any thoughts on the track did not track?
Uh,
Ozzy?
I mean, just generally, or you're looking at specific event?
Yeah, I'm going to be looking at specific events. All right, let us get into some events. We're not going to look at all the events. We're just going to look
Oh,
at some. Let us look at the drama with the women's 100-meter for, especially for Jamaica. Jamaica did not Jamaica.
yeah.
Um, can I comment?
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
sure. Anybody can comment. Ozzy, I don't know. Ozzy is like Ozzy is afraid to.
Hmm?
I don't know.
Me?
Go
This,
ahead, Akeem.
No, man.
this, sorry, this I will
I just
say.
want to see how you're going, then I'll fall in
Yeah,
line.
if one of Sharika or Shelly was in that race, 100 meters race, Tia Clayton wouldn't have come last. I felt that when I'm looking, when I'm thinking back to the decision that was made for Sharika to withdraw, and then Shelly withdraw afterwards, I'm thinking to myself the amount of pressure Tia must have been under in that moment, because no, she was the one that everybody was looking to actually mount a podium response, and I don't think that's a pressure that a 19-year-old should bear. And I think that under the circumstances, I think she performed admirably. A great performance from her. It could have been better, and we will see in the Diamond League races coming up. When she run, she'll have that pressure, and she's able to execute well and so forth. But you know, you know, when I really think back, at the women's 100 meters, you know, the pullouts of those two athletes really impacted her performance.
Yeah,
As it
indeed.
yeah, as it relates to Shelly not being able to compete, a little bit disappointed. But the question that I have is, how much did she really had to give? And definitely it will segue into something that we're going to discuss later in the show.
Mm-hmm.
But it was very clear to me from even the training videos that she wasn't at 100%. And even if she never had that, even if she had that in never had that injury and she was able to run her race, the question remains, how much more would she have to give, bearing in mind her injuries this season. um you know Probably she would have, knowing Shelley, she probably would have made the podium. The race wasn't even as fast as we had anticipated. But that is just my overall assessment. Also, Sasha Lee Forbes, I think people underestimate a lot of pressure Sasha Lee Forbes was probably placed or put under, given that she found out like days before that she'll be representing Jamaica in the individual event. It would have been better, in my humble opinion, if she had knew like a week or two. But it is what it is. And
But
you
this
know,
is this is a big stage, you know. Athletes have to be ready when they're called
Right,
upon.
right.
And remember
Exactly.
that she knew that she was the reserve.
Possible.
Time
Exactly. Right.
I cannot remember the
Yeah.
last time a reserve ran in 100-meter for Jamaica. Normally, our 3 or 4 women that goes to a championship, they are the ones who take the track.
indeed,
I cannot remember the last time a reserve run in a sprint race for Jamaica, but you know that you go there to do a job, so you have to get yourself ready in the
Period. Right.
event you are
She's
called on.
she's reserved. She's
Mhm,
assigned reserve. So you should assume anything could happen and I can be called that. So she should be.
mhm.
I I understand, although a reserve, you still maybe harbor some thoughts that, boy, I won't be called that. But you should get yourself in that mental state that if I'm called
I
on, at
I
least
agree.
physically ready, even if not fully
it's
emotionally ready, physically ready. So you do all your
but it
stars,
but
But
you
how can you
position.
not be ready though when you know that because to be honest, when you look at our women this season, we did not get any assurance or reassurance until the trials. We were very shaky all season with all three top women, and of course the trials brought give us some reassurance after seeing Sharika coming from behind winning that 100 meter and Shelly and making the podium, and that brilliant performance from young Tia Clayton. We got some reassurance. But if you still look at the top women, I wasn't surprised when Sharika pulled out. I was just wondering why pulled out. Why would you pull out of the shorter race to run the longer race if you are not at 100%? So I wasn't
I,
surprised when Sasha Lee was called on for national duties.
Well, I think Sherry, well, just from a distance, I think she maybe just pulled out to give herself an extra 2 days
yeah, that's what
to
I was
be,
thinking
to
as
be
well.
right, an extra 2 days to be, I mean, physically ready, whatever.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I mean, Akil, you make a good point, and something which I really did not think about the fact that the two ladies were absent in that final, and the whole Jamaica's hopes were on Tia. It's a lot of pressure, and particularly that battle Jamaica US, and the fact that
mm,
we need to maintain, that yeah. So I really hadn't given that a lot of thought, but that's a significant point.
Well, well done to Tia for really stepping up. And of course, when we look back at the legacy, we will still be able to say Jamaica was in
the
another
final,
Olympic women
final.
100-meter final. But we have to give credit to Julian Alfred. We have to
Yes.
we have to big up
Oh
Alfred.
yes,
Of course, Alfred
yeah,
career would have been progressing in front of a lot of us eyes, including mine, because I watched her entire track and field career at champs, and I would have seen her running in her glasses. Of course, it was a battle. Her battle was between her and Kevona Davis, and all of that. So we have to big up Alfred. She stepped up and she delivered in style. She had the pack chasing her, and of course
yeah,
she did an
convincing.
But
an
I
awesome
just,
job.
but even if you look at her time, I said before, not a lot of women in Olympic history would have been able to beat Julian Alfred. A lot
Hmm.
of people were saying, if Shelly was there, if a fit Sharika was there, Sharika at her fittest at a national, at any championships, well, at a major championships, has never run faster than 10.72.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
so even then, in my mind, Coach Flo prepared her to be ready for a fit
Well,
Sharika, a fit Shikari.
hmm
He
She would
prepared.
have
He was
handled.
like, she would have
She would
been
have
able to
been.
handle anything.
Yeah.
I
So
think so
her
too.
performance was highly commendable.
Oh yes,
Indeed,
definitely, without
indeed,
a doubt.
indeed. Without a doubt, she
Yeah.
was the star of the show in the women's 100 meters. She looked superior. She looked superior and she delivered accordingly. And we have to big up our Caribbean sister, who she also big up, Jamaica, and said, thanks, Jamaica, for being a part of the process. And the next event we want to go to is the men's 100 meters. Let's just quickly look at the events. Your thoughts on the men's 100 meter?
So the man 100. Let me just
Kishane
get my.
Thompson was second. Of course, Noah Lyles won the gold medal. Kishane Thompson winning the silver. Who won the third again? Who won the bronze again? Fred
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 Curly.
Curley.
Curly.
Curly.
Fred Curley, who was doubted. Fred Curley.
Um. All right. Let me. Okay.
I was
Just
never
just
doubting him.
just looking
Yeah,
through. Okay.
go
Okay.
ahead, Ozzy. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Just going through from start to finish. Um. and again, now I kind of looking at things from the Jamaica perspective, more so than the overall. The heats, all three men progressed without any issue. Kishin and Oblique winning their heats. Akeem, I think, was second in his. Then they got into the semi-final. Kishin and Oblique won their semi-final. Akeem ran 10:06 and he didn't advance. But that semi-final was very competitive, you know. Well, the whole
Yes, it
semi-final
was.
round was competitive. Because the
Mm-hmm.
Semifinals in
slowest
general was
person
competitive.
going into the final was ran 9.93 to get into the final. So it was very competitive. But up until the end of the two semis, Kishin and Oblique looked good. They look set for,
Superior.
for two. They look set for two medals at least.
Yeah, indeed.
But of course, Lyle was there and the others. Not that we're discounting them, but just that the guys look good.
Is
In the
what is what
final,
you deliver is what you deliver in
right?
the final.
Yeah, that. I think when that final came around, I think every Jamaican who was able to watch that race was actually doing
Man,
so. I would imagine.
Yep. Yeah. I think that
Unfortunately,
100-meter, I think, was one of the most anticipated
oh
it
races
yes,
was.
yes,
for
it was, it
Jamaica.
was,
Yeah.
yes.
No, for the entire
In
world. The
yeah,
entire world was,
yeah,
yeah, the men's 100
I
Yes.
mean,
definitely got
yeah,
a lot of steam.
right.
Yeah.
The 100 meters on its own, men and women, more so the men, as I said,
Yeah, this
it,
time
it, it,
around,
it,
more so the men. Yeah.
right. But then the US influence again with if that's the right word, with US wanting to get back on the podium. I mean, last time round, Jacobs boat was gone, but Jacobs come and take away the thing, and
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
wanted they had a hope. There was a and no lies was that hope.
And
And
it's I mean, they've waited 20 years because the last time they
It
won
was
this
a very
event
long time.
was 2004 with Justin Gatlin
that
at the
right.
Athens Olympic Games. So they've waited. They've really, really waited
Mhm.
a while for this. So, but I mean, later on down, we're going to talk about the tie and what should have happened. The men's 200-meter. Can we just going through the events quickly because
Okay,
we have
okay.
some
No, but I,
discussion?
I I I wanted to highlight though for the men's 100.
Sure.
So this was a discussion that we had off here. I don't know if you were there, HP, but when Aileen Bailey was there at Pegasus, she mentioned something that I think a lot of Jamaicans don't really appreciate, was that for Oblique Civil he had a window of opportunity. There was a window of opportunity, and what happened was that I think that is why athletes tend not to like Noah Lyles antics, because when you have Noah Lyles, coming out, jumping out, making excitement and so forth, it extend it's we cut again now. It the window of opportunity is running out. And when she highlighted the fact that he would have run a PB in the semifinal, looked very comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then he would have come he'd have he'd have been in the area where they would have been doing the whole light show and the performance and all these things and so forth. you know it's just small things that he would have done in between then that would have affected how he ran in the final. And I remember when she said that, I was like, huh, I never thought about it that way. As it relates to Oblique, listen, Oblique, he has many more championships to go, in my opinion, if injury doesn't, take him out. And I
Mm-hmm.
think
Mm-hmm.
that I think one of the things about, track and field, and one of the things about life is that the hotter the battle, the sweeter the
The
victory.
sweeter the victory.
And I think that, no, in everybody's mind, who is a choker, who he never delivers at the world stage or the biggest stage, it makes, when that moment comes, when he finally delivers on that promise in the final,
Indeed.
it makes it so much sweeter. So, I think from the men's 100 meter, the big major takeaway for me is that Oblique definitely Oblique definitely will progress from this final, as disappointing as he may be. I think he will progress forward, and Kishane as well. Kishane's
Oh, yeah.
performance remind me so much of Elaine 2015 World Championships, and he will learn
Very
from he will learn from this lesson, and I'm just excited to see what he does in his career going forward. So
Indeed,
yeah.
indeed, indeed, indeed. You're right. He will definitely um learn from this one. And they're both very young. I mean, we love to use the term very young. I don't know if it is to comfort ourselves or what, but they're both very young. And of course, next year is another big year. So let's see what will come with the 100-meter next year. I'm sure it is going to be another exciting and anticipating final again with those two men and the company. The men's 200 meters. Do we really need to look at that? T-Bogo.
Disappointing for me.
Disappointing
But
for
from a
Jamaica.
Jamaican perspective, and
Yeah.
um,
But young Tibogo, I mean, the young
but
man
yeah,
look as
okay,
if
yeah, yeah. I
he
mean,
looked as if he was jogging. It was a warm up. It looked like he was
he,
just
he,
I
he
think he
was
normally
so
looks he
relaxed.
normally looks he normally looks comfortable when he's running.
yeah,
Yes,
So
yeah.
very, very
that's
When
how he
he is
relaxed.
not,
runs.
it just looks as if he's not really
Yeah.
Yeah, not moving
Hmm.
extending
fast.
himself when he is. But even the 4x4 when he was maxed out, he still looked the same. But
Brilliant.
yeah, very good effort. Very good effort. I
Yeah.
mean,
But I don't know if a lot of people notice it though, but his mom passed away in May and he was
mhm.
so sad when the camera each time the camera go on him, you could see that he was in his thoughts and he was just doing what he was sent to the Olympics to do without any real because I mean he's a showboat himself and he was just he just came out, ran his race, went back in. You could actually see that he was hurting.
Well,
He was
I
hurting.
observe I observe differently. So you saw him more relaxed in the 100. It was after the 100 and he not medaling in the 100 meters. I think that's where you started to see him more serious and not smiling and not laughing, and I think that was where for me the seriousness really started to show, because if I really watch him in the heat of the 100, yes, he wasn't showboating, but he was looking very relaxed. He looked like he looks very calm, and it's like his demeanor indicated that you know I'm about to show you guys something. So when you compare his demeanor in the 100 versus the 200, I would more say that it's the disappointment of not medaling the 100 that probably caused that change in mindset. But you could be right. His the death of his mom could be something that affected
Yeah,
his.
he is really affected because he was very close to his mom. Welcome, Nick Heart of Love. Nick Heart of Love is saying Noah is good for the sport.
I disagree.
Noah is so
I have
hated.
I have no
I
issue
don't
at all
know.
with it.
I
None.
don't know what else
I,
to say
no,
about
no,
Noah right
I have no
now.
issue with it.
no. I don't have an issue. I don't have an issue with him, but I think people need to understand that when they say that Noah is good for the sport, what do they mean? Track and field is a global sport. It's
Mm-hmm.
not just in the US, it's not just in the Caribbean, it's not just in Europe. What is Noah standing like in South Africa? What is Noah standing like in China? What is Noah standing like in Australia? And that's what made Usain Bolt such a iconic figure, because anywhere he went, he could have even go India. People will be willing to fill the stadiums just to watch Usain Bolt run. You
Let me
remember
tell you,
when?
people like humble. People in general like humble. More people like humble over. I'm trying to find the right expression because I don't want to say the wrong thing and people misinterpret
I
what I'm
understand what
saying.
you're thinking.
Bolt was very humble and good at what he did, and Bolt had a lot of respect for his competitors. You would
And
never hear Bolt gaslighting or disrespecting, never. Even when Bolt knew that he was going to win a race by landslide, he was very humble and respectful to his competitor in the things that he say, especially in the things that he say. Noah is not respectful of
and
his
Of his
competitors.
and it's
peers.
not even, yeah, and not even, and not even
Disagree.
No,
Sorry.
when I say understand the context, that is
Mm,
why I don't want to talk
mm,
on this topic, because people will
mm,
misinterpret what you say to mean
mm,
that you're saying something. But when I say show respect, I don't mean that
mm,
he disrespect in the terms of
mm,
disrespect. Just like how you would use the word aggressive, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is always a bad thing. When I say Noah doesn't respect his
mm.
competitor, what I mean is that he just say whatever and he doesn't care even if him get beaten. While Boltno, on the other hand, was very diplomatic in the things that he said. Noah is not diplomatic, but we'll move on from that. I don't want to
Yeah,
get,
I think.
because people in sometimes misinterpret what you're
But
trying
what
to
no,
say.
but what I will say though was that
But
Usain Bolt didn't only just show respect to his competitors. He showed respect to everybody who was involved in track and
Indeed,
field, from the
indeed,
official who is taking up,
exactly.
from the officials who are taking up, who are collecting his
His
gears when he
basket.
when basket and so forth when he's changing, to even the journalists who would ask him a question in the press media, and he would just run a joke and everybody in the room laugh. And it's the same thing with Shelley and Fraser Price as well. Like, these are the reasons why these two individuals, you could literally call them track and field royalty, because of how they treat individuals
People,
in the
yeah.
space of track and field.
Very diplomatic in what they do. Roman Stewart, welcome. He's saying Noah is more applying more damage to his own self by trying to fill a shoe that is too big. Think he's talking about Usain Bolt. The women's 200 meter. What can we say about the women's 200 meters?
not too much.
For the first time, Jamaica has been in the 200 meter final, every 200 meter final for women at the Olympic Games since 1980. Since 1980, Jamaica has not missed out on the 200 meter final, even if it's one person we have in there. And of course, Merlene Ottey carried it from the 1980,
Also,
from
yeah,
1980. And of course, Grace Jackson joined her
but
1988, and Juliet Cuthbert joined her, Veronica Campbell Brown, Aileen, and all the others, Beverly
Monica
McDonald.
McDonald. Sorry,
Right.
Beverly McDonald. Yeah.
Beverly McDonald, right? So this one was, it was heartbreaking for me to
Yeah.
watch. It was really, really heartbreaking not seeing our colors in the women's 200 meters. Go ahead, Ozzy.
And that points to the fact that our 200 men and women lag significantly behind our 100 meter.
Yes.
I did that just I want to take up too much. I did a quick check. I just started at from 2018 to now. We have had 13 men who have run under 10 seconds and 15 women who have run under 10 seconds. In comparison, for the 200, 3 men who have gone under 20 seconds. I use 10 and 20. Those are the sort of thresholds used to determine if you are a
And I have that for us to discuss in our
right.
next point. So hold that
Mhm.
thought, Ozzy, because
Yeah.
that's one of the things I want us to discuss. But just to go back to the 200 meter to give you an idea of where we're coming from in the 1980, Merlene Ottey Page at the time was in the 200 meter finals. 1984, Merlene Ottey again. 1988, it was Merlene and Grace. 1992, it was Juliet Cuthbert and Merlene Ottey. 1996, it was Merlene again. So you see where Merlene coming from? Merlene coming from the 1980s
98.
all the way up to 2000. 2000, it was Beverly McDonald and Merlene Ottey. 2004, it was Aileen Bailey, Veronica Campbell Brown. 2008, it was Veronica Campbell Brown, Karen Stewart, and
And
I
Sharon
think
Simpson.
Sharon had
Sharon
made that.
Simpson.
You're right, Sharon Simpson,
Um,
and of course
sure.
Veronica and Karen medal. 2012, Shelley and Fraser
Brilliant.
Price
And
won
Veronica Campbell.
silver, and Veronica Campbell was in this event. 2016, 2016, Elaine Thompson
Elaine.
won gold in this event, and of course 2021, Elaine won gold again. So Jamaica has been in this event in the women's 200 meter from 1980, no break until 2024.
Yeah.
But what I will say though is that I think it was just a bad year for Jamaica in the women's 200, because if you look at it, Lanae Taylor Thomas, if she had run even near her personal best, she would have been in the final. And she wasn't, and she wasn't, and she wasn't
22.
able to. Yeah, 22-3, she would have been in the final. And for her not to be able to deliver her best, I personally believe that she probably feel disappointed. But it's just that's the nature of the sport. If you look at the women's 200, you have women who, like, for example, Kevona Davis, Brianna Liston, who injuries would have taken away the opportunity for them to represent the Jamaica team. Not only those two, you also have Natalia White. She would have represented us at the World Championships last year.
Seen this year at all.
Yeah, in
I'm seeing her this year.
you
it's
know,
it's it's really it's really heartbreaking, and and
it
and
is.
you know, I keep asking the question.
With them not being on the
um
favorites.
I would love to see our 200 meters for both men and women producing a little bit more, especially on the men side, but of course we will look at that when we get to that section. The men's 400 meters,
The men's
Men
400, it was an
400
excellent race.
disappointing again, in a sense.
disappointing
In a
for,
sense.
yeah,
In
for
a sense.
Jamaica. Of course, the 400 meter is at a totally different level now. It
Yeah.
is at a level where if you're not running 43 or 44 very, very low, it's hard.
What I will say in that regard is that I think the rapid charge really hurt us in this way, because I
Why? It
because I
helped
think,
us.
no, in the sense that I think Sean Bailey would have been
This
our
time would have
strongest
carried
if,
him with the
you
normal
know
rules. Yeah, but
yeah, with the normal rules, he'd have been the semifinals. And you have, and I think based on what would have heard of Sean Bailey prior to the championships, he was preparing to run a personal best. And
yeah, but okay,
you know,
continue. Sorry.
so as much as it was disappointing overall for the Jamaican men, you have to ask yourself the question, what if he never had to run the rapid charge round? And it's just a nature of track and field. For some persons, the rapid charge round proved to be an advantage, but for him
Hmm.
specifically, it was a disadvantage. So,
But
for him to run in the night and then come back in the morning to run again, I can understand why he may have had, the challenges that he had it during the rapid charge.
yeah, but
But when you look at the
all
event
right.
itself, go ahead, Ozzy, go ahead.
There's a comment. Well, yeah, it could have been a challenge, but there's always, you see, if you're preparing for games, you have to prepare for the as
That
best
is
as
true.
possible every
Mm.
eventuality. In prior to this year, they would have had to run. They would have run successive days. Yes, there would be a little bit more time. Because you said it's evening morning sort of thing. But the repetition, I have no issue. I'm kind of indifferent to the
Yeah, yeah.
repetition.
I like
In
it,
that
but
I like it.
it's
I
in
like it.
fact, if we go back to say 2000, 2004, it's 4 rounds the men used to run, 4 rounds of 200, 4 rounds of 100, 200, 400. Four
I
rounds.
think I think the problem with the
Mm.
major problem with the rapid charge was how it was scheduled. Because if you look, because as I said before, for him to run his heat in the night and then to come back in the morning to
Mhm.
run competitively again, I think that that increases the likelihood of injury.
But
So I,
if we take the recharge round out of it, let us look at the event itself, where the quarter mile is now for both men and women. As a man in running the quarter mile, which is the 400 meters, if you're not running 43 seconds right now or 44, very, very low, your chances are very, very limited in terms of even reaching the
Yeah,
podium.
yeah. This
These
year
men
was
are running
this year was exceptional.
43.
This year was exceptional.
yeah, man.
Um,
But the thing about is
If
that
you look at the final, of the 8 men, 5 of them ran under
sub
44
44.
seconds.
Mm, yeah,
5 out of the 8 men
never
ran
happened before.
43 under 44 seconds. This is to show you that the 400-meter is at a different level. Now,
Yeah,
my question is, how do
it's
we catch up as a country? How do we look at 45 as training and now focusing on 44 low 43? So if you run 10 races for the season, you should be running more 43 than 44. Look at Kirani James, who is one of the veterans in the field, and this disease that he's battling.
and
um,
it's not and what is crazy is that the race could have been much faster. We never had a fit Michael Norman. I mean by fit, I
yeah,
mean that he
Look at
wasn't
even
at
Michael Norman.
100%.
Michael Norman finished what,
yeah,
eighth?
yeah.
We
It was
didn't
last.
have we
Yeah,
didn't have Stephen Guard. We didn't have Stephen Guard.
We
We
didn't
didn't
have
have Stephen
Steven
Guard.
Gardner.
mm,
We didn't have
You know,
Antonio Watson.
um,
I mean, it.
Alexander Doom. He picked up
Yes.
an injury in the
Hmm.
semifinal.
Hmm.
I
literally,
know he would have.
literally.
I know he would have PB'd. I know he would have PB'd in
Yeah,
that
he was in good
400
nick.
meters
44
win.
1. That's yeah.
Yeah, man.
He was in good nick.
Believe it or not, we will have to catch up. Or if we, because look at it, our national champion finished eighth in his heat,
Well, he ran well
picked
below
up.
expectations.
And that's
40,
what I'm saying. That's
yeah,
what I'm saying. When you go to these
yeah.
championship,
I'm not sure
it
what his issue
is
was. I
a.
haven't heard it. Have you heard if he had any issue?
No, he
And that
did
that's
not
a
come
next.
back for the repechage round.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
right.
sure why, but
Right.
he didn't come for the repechage round. But the point I'm trying to make is that we can make all the excuses or find all the excuses, but the 400 meters at a totally different level. And
That is true.
let us segue
Which
into the women's 400 meter now. That too is at a totally different level also. The bar is so high, even when you stand on a ladder,
well, the
it might
good
be
thing is that
challenging.
we have someone at that level.
But the thing is,
Um,
what I will say is that
for the
I think that
women.
there's actually potential, for Jamaica's stock to rise in the 400 meters outside of Nikisha Price, because even when you look at it, in my humble opinion, although she obviously won't hear my opinion, I think Lanita Thomas would be excellent for the
Bet
400
Evans.
meters. Yes, she's running she runs a 1-2, but I think she's a 2-4 runner.
Don't
Um,
I would love to see a sprinter step up
her,
and see how
her
well they
score is what?
do at the
50 what?
400 meters.
She's
but
at 50 points. She not reached 50 points yet.
no, she's a 50-point runner.
50
Let
points.
me let me check it just to
Yeah, probably.
But
be
while he's checking
sure.
that, when you
But
look at the
as it relates
400
to
meters,
the women's 400 meters,
go ahead, Akil.
yeah,
It
man.
is just
So I
it.
was saying
Um,
that
well,
when you look at the 400 meters and where the event is, what I would say is that it
All right, it seems as if Akil is buffering a little bit. Yeah.
yeah.
So until he gets back with us,
But
yeah, this event. Look at Nasa, who is just coming back from injuries. Look at what she did. Many were counting
from
her out because
doping,
she
not
was
injuries.
sorry, not injuries. She was
Violation. Right.
banned. Yeah,
Violation.
right. She's coming back from. a
But
sanction. Look at what
I
she
just say
did
the
for
good thing is
somebody
that
who wasn't
Nikisha
competing.
is there. Nikisha is there, you know. So that's good. Unfortunately, from what we heard, she was ill um during the after the
After the
what's it?
semis.
Right, it was reported that she was ill. Right. Yeah. So
Okay.
a bit
Yeah, but
unfortunate, you know. But
we
I think
have
she's
to.
there. I think she will be in the mix come next year. All
Well,
things being equal, you know.
based on
This
what she
year.
did this
Right.
season, she's
Yeah.
definitely there this season. So let's
Exactly.
see how she will look next season. But where this 400-meter is right now, it's at a ridiculous pace, and hopefully Sean is supposed to be coming back next season also. So that too,
I'm hoping she does, you know.
yeah.
And it's not Shawnee alone as well. You also have Brittany Wilson of the USA.
Yeah, yeah.
Brittany
You have
That's
Wilson.
the talent. Yeah.
You have Kaylin Brown, the 19-year-old from the United States of America as well.
Mm-hmm.
So this is an event that is definitely getting the stocks are rising in this event.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
as relates to Lane, I see her PB is 51.67, so
51. Yeah.
she hasn't broken 51 as yet. But I do believe that she trains for the event, that she will do well in it. But let's focus on,
I
who
don't
we currently
know.
have.
Does she
Mm-hmm.
like
Uh,
the event? Big question,
The
you know.
thing is, does she
Does
like the
she like
that's
the
event?
true.
event? Does she want to do the event?
But
That
you
is
know
true.
something?
But
All right, go ahead, Akil.
I was saying that, as it relates to Nikisha, I have no doubts. I don't have no doubts that Nikisha is going to be a strong contender in this event going forward, especially now that she's going into pro. I just want to highlight that in all of her sub 49 races, she did not look as if she ran all out. And
Exactly. Exactly.
even when you
She
put her
was.
in a race,
Yeah.
when you put her in a race situation where could possibly race against Paulinho, she could possibly race against Sydney McLaughlin Lavroni, she could
We,
possibly race against Femke Ball. You know, I I
You know
I
what I
wouldn't
would
see.
love for World Athletics to do is to I saw where they announced that um what's his name? The pole vaulter is going to race um
Martin
Warholm.
and
I would
Warhol.
love,
Yeah,
yes, I would
100. Yeah.
love, I would love to see a 400 meters with Sydney, Femke, Nikisha, Shawnee Miller, Nassar, Paulina. That's six.
Yeah.
Two
Okay.
more. I don't know which two more. Maybe
Okay. Remember now.
we would add
Remember.
Holmes.
Remember World Athletics. They're looking at the ultimate championships that they are proposing.
I can't
That
wait.
will take care of it. Where they're
Well,
taking the
well,
top performers. So it's
well,
not
not
country
necessarily.
3 and 4, and you're limited by that. Top
Well,
performers.
not necessarily, because it's top performance based on rankings,
Based on
and
Mm,
rankings.
our
not
time.
based on time, not based on time.
It's not
It's
Not
time.
based
based
on
on
ranking.
Yeah, we were having that discussion the
It's
other
based
night,
on rankings.
and it
Okay.
wasn't making any sense.
It's
But
based
let
on
us
rankings.
but let us quickly look at the 400-meter hurdles, men and women. Again, this event is at another level too, just like the
Another
400
level.
meter. Another level.
But the thing about
How can we catch up to these events that are moving at a
You're
rapid
right.
pace?
Talent. People willing to do the work. People with it. We need the right talent. The people with the talent be willing to do the work.
I well,
First and foremost.
I would say that, I don't think the issue is with talent. I think it's the issue with coaching. Not saying that the coaches aren't competent enough, but there's something that the American coaches are doing that
400
we need to
hurdles.
pay 400 hurdles that we need to pay
Okay.
keen attention to. Because if you look at it, America now has three women who has run sub 52, and they have a young lady in the form of
Mm-hmm.
Jasmine Jones, who is running 52-1, and they have Shamir Little, who has run 52-3. So
So,
the
But
Americans definitely.
look at what
what
Anna Cockrell did. Who was expecting that?
Is it coaching or
No,
just
I was not
numbers
expecting.
or just numbers? 300 million people as against our 3 million.
No, we can't say that
I
because
think
when
it's
we're
No,
dominating,
we
when we're
can't say that.
dominating, no, but
No, no.
when we're dominating, we don't look at it like that.
I look at it
I
at that.
We
You
just
look at it.
dominate.
I think
Yeah, no,
I
we
think
can
it's
look at it. The
no.
numbers
I
don't
think
catch
it's
up with us at some
coaching.
point.
I don't think the numbers
I
matter because hold on one moment, Akil. I don't think the numbers in
no
population
problem.
matters because
All right,
for the
let me.
21st century, Jamaica have been dominating the sprints
Yeah,
at the
I
Olympics
know.
and the world
We,
level. So it as
all
Akil
right,
said, maybe it comes down to coaching. I don't know.
all right. Let me
I just
just
want to
not.
highlight
All right, keep it. All right, let me jump in. 2 years ago,
jump
you see, I started mentoring to some colleagues of mine that look, it is not a matter of if, it is when our women are going to not do as well as we expect. It's just the numbers when catch us. I mean, I expected to see a dip. To be fair, I did not expect it to happen this year. I did not expect it to happen this year, but I know it will happen. It doesn't sheer numbers will reach us. We're going to take a
no,
dip.
My
but
my
But,
my
no, but
my expectations in the sprints wasn't
mhm,
based on what I was seeing all season. My expectation in the sprint wasn't very, very high. And that was why when I was pushed to call names, I wasn't able to call any names because
mhm.
all the events, the only event that was not open is Sydney McLaughlin's event, the 400-meter hurdles. All other events
but
were open, and we saw that. But before we go further, let us just welcome Coach Kino. He said good night, everyone. Good night.
Oh,
Monica Lewis, good night to you
good
too.
night.
Coach Kino is saying, me never count out Anna. I think he's talking about Anna Cockrell.
Well,
oh,
I just
oh
want to
yeah.
highlight
No, I couldn't.
something.
Because
I
Jasmine
just want to
Jones,
highlight.
based on where they were time wise.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I just want to highlight something. The coaches that have managed to coach athletes below sub 52. Chris Johnson, otherwise known as Boogie Johnson.
Boogie.
Bobby Kersey and Joanna Hayes at the University of South Carolina,
Yeah,
right? Those are the three coaches that have,
yeah.
along with Femke Ball's coach in Europe. Those
But
are the
look at the
three
talent that
coaches
they
that have.
get.
And
No, but, no, but
no, but it's
I know,
talent that they developed.
but exactly this Anna
Not
Yeah.
talent
Cockrell.
that they get.
Anna,
I'm not saying they don't develop, you know.
Anna,
They
No,
you know,
talent
develop
that
as well.
they developed because
They get.
Anna
And
Cockrell.
look at what they get.
Anna Cockrell.
Uh-huh.
Anna Cockrell is in the 2021 Olympic year, right? Anna Cockrell, she completed the Queen's double at NCAA's. What's the Queen's double? She won the 100-meter hurdles and she won the
There's 400.
400-meter
Right.
hurdles, right? For those who don't know. So Anna Cockrell is talented. However, to take a talented individual from 53 to running 51.85, the coaching has to
Of
brilliant.
be
course. But
brilliant.
it's
And
easier to take a 53 to 51 than a 55 to
what
51.
not
That's the point I
necessarily
make it.
not necessarily, because if you look at the our hurdlers, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you look at Rochelle Clayton in 2019, Rochelle Clayton was running 53.9, right?
Mm-hmm.
In 2024, no, Rochelle Clayton has dropped her time to 52.5, which is highly
52 5.
commendable.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
52.5, which is
Yes.
highly commendable,
Mm-hmm.
right? Very highly commendable, and her coach richly deserved the praise for it. However, the game is at 51. And
Mm-hmm.
I think in order for and I think it's
51
more
or
that
50.
No,
the game
well,
is
it's one person.
51-50. So
It's two
it
persons really
definitely,
running that. It's not the norm. You know.
But that's
well,
where it's
a young one,
going. That's where
Yeah,
it's
a,
that's
going in
what's going
Ozzy.
there. Yeah, but it's
That's
like
where
saying
it
the
is,
100. It's
man.
like saying the 100-meter men is at 9:58. It's one person if I go there.
no, but the thing about that, is that yes, is one person only at 50, but you have a youngster who has now entered the conversation at 51 one for
51. Exactly. I agree.
51.85, and
Mm-hmm.
she is not in her prime years in track and field.
True.
According to coaching and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
she has
True.
a lot of room for improvement. And you
I
also have
agree.
Jasmine Jones at 52.1. So it must,
Mm-hmm.
I think what Joanna Hayes and Boogie Johnson and Bobby Curse has been able to accomplish with their athletes, I think that needs to be studied, so keenly
Kirsty Gardner
studied.
McLaughlin, a super talent.
Mm-hmm.
But I also
Super.
want to
I mean,
highlight. I also
his records speak for itself. I mean, from way back from 80 something. I'm not. I mean, I'm just saying he got a super talent.
But I also want to
McLaughlin.
highlight though that Sydney
Mm-hmm.
McCloughin, a portion of Sydney McClockin's race model is actually from Khalees Spencer.
A race model.
So yeah,
Elaborate.
race model. I think Lashinda Demus was commenting on it. She said that when I think she was correcting a commentator who was saying that
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 13 strides to the like the first. I don't remember exactly. Sorry, I don't know the
No, it
technicalities of a
wouldn't be
coach.
13.
But
It meant
number,
13. It should be maybe 15,
yeah,
17. So, yeah, yeah.
15. Yeah, I think it's 14 strides. Yes, 14 strides for the first
Mm-hmm.
five hurdles. Sydney wasn't the first one to do that. The first one to do that was actually Kelly Spencer. Not first one,
Mm-hmm.
but that's a race model that Kelly Spencer would have had much success with on the Diamond League circuit. So
Yeah.
now the question is that
So
other
Khalees need
coaches
to
have
start coaching.
No, but
so.
the,
But what I'm trying to say is
you
that
can't just everybody can just go to it. What is it's a lot of things that make you do that. The
No, when I
physical
say that,
makeup
what I
skill and all
mean is
that.
that, like
Mm-hmm.
how you have people like Joanna Hayes, Isa
Mm-hmm.
Phillips, who is a Jamaican 400-meter hurdler, who was, I don't know if he's still a part of Sydney's camp. So sometimes these athletes who have done it, what they can do is collaborate with other coaches and get into it.
exactly.
So maybe Khalees need to get into something like that.
So, but it's coach, but the coaching for the 400-meter hurdles here in
That's the
Jamaica
easy part. The stand
definitely
part.
has to.
That's the easiest part of it.
It will have to rise.
It definitely has to
If we don't,
rise.
yeah, if we
That's the
don't
easy.
move it up, then we're going to be left
That is true.
behind. Yeah, because Europe, I mean, Europe is coming. Femke is definitely at the party. Of course, Americans know how to produce, for
Because
hurdlers, whether sprint hurdlers or quarter hurdlers, they know how to produce them.
because the talent for us, the talent is there. The talent is there. We have Cheyenne Salmon. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right.
Yes, salmon,
We have
salmon,
yeah,
yeah.
we have Rochelle Clayton. We have Anjanette Knight, and we have Jenny Russell. So the talent
Oh,
is there.
And we
Rochelle,
have the youngster.
Rochelle
We have the
must have a
youngster.
late bloomer.
What's her name?
Exactly.
Rochelle,
Mhm.
Rochelle came on really late in her career.
And we have the youngster that just left Heidel last year. What's her name? Oh my God, she was the captain. I'll tell you her name
Makanov.
Baker,
shortly.
Baker,
Makanov,
Baker.
Onika Makanov
Oh,
is
McDonald.
at, yeah, Makanov. I
But
think
I didn't
she
think she did hurdles. She ran in the flat four. I
she
think
run
it
in the flat four. Well, she was a
four,
very good
four.
hurdler in high school. So
Yeah,
let
I
us
don't
see.
think. I
But
don't remember seeing her in it. Mm.
let us move on now to the sprint hurdles quickly. Let us go through the events quickly because we have some things to discuss. The sprint hurdles. The sprint hurdles,
Um,
again, another open event that Mr. Holloway, he is
oh
now the
man,
world champion and the Olympic
based
champion.
on form, he was the clear favorite, and not just a one pop. He was
Yeah, he
consistent
was.
this season, and he threw down. He
But
threw down
every
the time.
season he is a favorite, for the
Yeah,
last few
and
seasons, every season is a favorite.
Yeah,
in the
his body of work has been impressive.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Indeed.
yeah,
Indeed, indeed, indeed.
yeah.
The
He has been in
women's
the
sprint
hype.
hurdles.
Women's sprint
Um,
hurdles.
What can we
Excellent
say
run.
about that?
Excellent run from Masai Russell.
just
I,
generally, yeah.
The world
excellent
lead.
run from yeah, excellent Russell run from Masai Russell. What I will say though in both the sprint hurdles events is that our time will come. Our time will come. I think,
Well, this one is just some misfortunes, boy. But
yeah, it was, yeah, our
it's
time
part
will
of it.
come.
It's hurdle.
This
So
I'm going to take you guys back a little bit.
it's
This Olympic
hurdles.
Games for Jamaica was it reminds me of Beijing for America. They could not do anything right. It's like they could not get anything right in
Beijing.
Beijing.
No,
So
Beijing wasn't so bad
no,
for
we got
the hurdle.
everything right in
Yeah,
Beijing,
but
but America did not get they didn't get anything right. I
The
think
hurdles, the hurdles saved them.
who Don Harper?
Don Harper. Also had Angela Matthews. Yeah, you
Yeah,
had
but what
Angela
I'm trying to
Matthews
say,
to make a hurdle.
the dominance that they normally have, they never had it in
That is
Beijing.
true. Yeah,
They
that is
never
true.
had it at all. I mean, it was just mistake after mistake for them or injuries. It's like they couldn't get it right. Even when it looked right, they got it wrong. You know,
That is true.
their 2 4x1 team did not even make it to the final. You know, it was a lot going on. So I guess, you know, these kind of things happen. But I mean, you know, we're going to pass the 800, the 4x1s. Let us get into the field and then we look at the relay. The field dominated Paris for Jamaica. The field turn up in
yeah,
Jamaica. Your thoughts?
Yeah,
um,
man.
yeah, that was clearly so.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And
Hundred
not
percent.
Um,
only not only that the field turn up for Jamaica, it was the men who turned up for Jamaica. The women won one medal. I cannot remember the last time I saw that.
But if you look at the field though, if you look, yeah,
we don't
man.
Only
usually
the
win more than
only
one medal in the field for the
huh?
women.
Shanika
We don't
Ricketts.
usually win
No,
more
what
than
I
one medal on the field.
no,
You
what
know?
I'm saying, I don't remember the last time I saw where the women only win one medal
Oh,
at an
overall,
Olympic game.
overall.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Oh, I
overall.
thought you were just
So
referring to the field. Okay.
no, what I'm saying is that the field dominated and the men dominated for Jamaica because of the
Yeah.
5 medals, the women only got one from Shanika Ricketts. So
Well, you see,
yeah.
I am again. I am not surprised that this. I prepared myself for this from 2 years ago. You know, so I'm not
I was expecting more from the
totally
track.
surprised.
I'm going to be honest.
You know.
No, no, but if you look at it, even if you look at the field events, I think with the exception of Stoner, everybody who medaled in the field events, it was expected.
Expected, yes.
Yeah, because Shanika Ricketts, uh,
I had
it
her
was
to medal.
yeah. I never had her to medal.
I
She
had
we
her
knew
to
Who,
she had
medal.
Ricketts?
we knew she yeah we knew she had strong medal prospects, but I was because on the night a lot of people underperformed. Romancho did not perform as well as she could have.
Yeah,
The
but
two
she
the
just coming back.
Povia, yeah, Povia did not perform well, and the Spanish and her Spanish and the Spanish triple jumper, she didn't perform as well as she could. So when I was looking at that, I was saying that
Neither did
Ricketts could have
Shanika.
been, and Shanika could have
Shanika in a
definitely,
15 meters. She has gone 15 meters.
she
Right.
could have
So
jumped better. But if you look at it, the runway really proved to be the main factor in that, because the runway it was very hard to navigate. And Thea Lafont, she got a big jump. She got a big
the
jump early.
runway.
Yes, the
And that
runway
is
was
all
very
and
hard
that
to
is all you
navigate
need. That is all you need, just
because the
one good jump, one good throw.
because when the rain fell,
The what?
it was
The
very
rain.
yeah, when the rain fell, it was very difficult to navigate. And what happened was that Shanika Ricketts, she got her big jump early.
I think it's second round. If I remember correct.
Yes,
Yeah, I think it is the
either
second
second
round.
or no, I think it was the third round. She got her
Third
big
round.
jump early. Yes. So, but the runway was very tough to navigate. Um, but yeah, so you expected her once she turned up, she would have medaled. Wayne Pinnock, he medal as well.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah,
wasn't
that was
far.
expected too. I had him to medal.
That was expected as well. What was our other
Rajindra
killer?
Campbell.
Regina Campbell.
Rajita Campbell. He was surprising as well.
Yeah.
And even I never had him to medal because I thought that the three Americans plus the Italian would have exploded in the shot put. But when I heard in his interview, it seemed as if even if the conditions were better, or it was more favorable conditions, it seemed as if he would have thrown a huge PB, because he was saying that he was prepared to throw 23 meters. Because in my mind, 23 meters is what you would definitely need in order to medal at these games. So it seemed as if he was ready for medal. He was ready to medal whether conditions were favorable, yes or no. So um, I think two of the medals, I must admit, the two of the medals, you expected the medals. But nevertheless, it was a great performance from us in the
Yeah.
field.
Indeed, indeed, indeed.
Um,
And
with,
that is, we need to, we definitely need, as a country, and when
uh,
I say as a country, I'm talking about our athletes, the coaches, the federation, the Ministry of Sports. We need to know which is where we're going to segue to in a little bit. We need to look at track and field as a whole and not just stay in the narrow lane of the sprints. When you look at other countries, um how versatile they are, how diverse they are. They're in the field, they're in the middle and long distance, they're in the sprints. We are just in the sprints, and of course we are now picking up the field, and I love it and I enjoy it, and we need to now start looking, and that's what we're going to talk about now. But just before we go, Coach Kino is saying Onika is running the 400-meter flat because of injuries.
Okay.
okay.
Wow, injuries. And just to
That,
look at the medal table, someone ever thought?
no,
The
saying
medal table,
I'm going to speak to something. I mean that regards, but then
Mm-hmm.
we
continue. I
were
mean, about it.
eight in the medal table. As just dealing with track and field alone, at Olympic, we were eight. So despite the fact that we didn't appear to do as well, not that we didn't appear, we
We
didn't do as
didn't
well
do
as
well. We didn't do
right,
well.
right.
We
But
didn't know it. We didn't
we're
know.
eighth on the medal table. But I don't really like to use the medal table because that really don't give a true picture of the state of the track and field. The placing table, where the points looking from first position to eighth position, we were actually fifth in that, behind USA, Kenya, Britain, Ethiopia. Then came Jamaica. With all the misfortunes and mishaps and everything, we were fifth. So
But
just to put things in perspective,
the hardware carries more weight than
it,
placing, if you know what I
it
mean.
depends how you look at it. For example, a country getting one gold medal would be placed higher than a country getting no gold medal but getting, let me take it to the extreme,
Indeed,
24th place.
indeed.
24th
Yeah.
place. So the 24th place, obviously, that country is in a better, their track and field is in a better state, which is
Yeah,
why I like to look at the placing table.
yeah, but how they rank it sometimes, how they set it up sometimes, the hardware is what, because they just look at it one way.
No,
Medals,
man, world
they
athletics have
count the
both of them, you know.
hardware. No,
World
I mean
athletics.
overall, they count the hardware, and that's what people focus on. And that is why I always say, let us look at the personal best that we get. Let us look at how many people we get into
Right.
a final.
Exactly.
So I try to break it down like that
Exactly.
so that we can understand that we are still very much um competing. But because a lot of people look at, oh, we didn't get any gold medal in the 100, we didn't get anything in
No,
the
no.
100 or the 200 or the that. So sometimes it is good to
Since
break it
you
down.
mentioned that, let me just slip something in. Well, jumping back to the field events, the men actually made, of the 8 field events, the men made final in 5.
Yes.
For the women, we made 3 in 8. So just to supporting your argument that you look a bit deeper than just
Yes.
the medal tally.
Yeah. And this is how I want us as a country to look at track and field, and don't just look at a medal count of 10
Of course.
medals or 20 medals. Look
Yeah.
at it a little deeper. Look at the performances. Look at individual performances. Look at event performances, and just look at it a little broader than we would normally do, just by looking at, because even when you before we go to the other discussion, let's just quickly look at the men's triple jump. What happened there?
Injury.
got injured.
Injury. Came into the
Injured.
championship with injury. Yes.
Injury.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I saw a video that he did prior to the events. I think it was. I don't remember if it was after the preliminaries, or it was before. But he said that all was not well, and from when I heard him say, but he said he would say it after the event is done. He would
Okay.
mention it.
Okay.
When I heard it,
Coach
I
but
Keen
realized that
but
Coach
oh,
Kino
right.
is saying Coach Kino is saying he think that we were going to talk about the upcoming hurdlers. And no,
so
Coach
tough.
Kino, this is really about recapping
Yeah, man.
Paris. But of
Well,
course, we will
that's
mention little
that's
things
one
here and
But
there.
only for discussion that the upcoming
but
Yeah,
event.
that's
but
a whole yeah. But
I'm
but
just
sure
to
it's
look at
upcoming.
the medal table, just to look at the medal table after we look at the events. The in the men's 100 we got a silver medal, so that's one medal there. The men's 110-meter hurdles, a bronze medal there. So we got only two medals on the track, and that
Right.
is from the men. Two medals on the track, and it is from the men. The men's 100-meter final, Kishane Thompson won a silver medal, and of course Rashid Broadbell won a bronze medal in the men's 110
but
meter hurdles. The
but
field,
sorry
yes?
about that. I want to speak on the whole triple jump. Comment on the triple jump for men. Going back to the same thing that we said about Tia. I don't think it was just only injuries for Jaden Hibbert. As stated before, Jaden Hibbert, when he was competing, a whole lot of things were happening in the Jamaican camp. People who were expected to deliver medals weren't delivering medals. People were sick. People were getting injured and so forth. And once
But
again,
should we use that as an excuse though at this level?
no.
Not
It's
necessarily
not
excuse,
about
but
use.
just
It's not.
pointing.
It's not.
N-
Yeah, it's not a necessary excuse, but it's also the fact that athletes, whether we like to admit it or not, athletes push each other. Like the whole vibes of the camp actually energizes energizes athletes to go out there and to perform beyond above and beyond their own levels. And I feel that Jaden Hibbert, being that he's a young man, he's at his second major championships, I believe that that energy, or that fire that was lacking from the Jamaican camp at that point, I think that could have also contributed to his performance not being as strong as we would have wanted it to. Because when you think about Tia, if Tia had medal in the women's 100, I'm pretty sure that Jaden Hibbert would have been fired up, because in his mind, Tia can't come here and
I
come get one medal, and me not get the medal, even though he was unwell. But I'm just saying that the injuries, the sickness, coupled with what was going on in the Jamaican camp, I believe that contributed to him not going above and beyond what he's capable of.
So my question now is, how do we condition our athletes mentally to push even when everything
psychology.
is falling apart? Because if
Psychology.
I go out there and I made a mishap and I never get it right, I'm expecting my teammate to now pick it up and deliver because I did not deliver. How do we get to the level now where if somebody fails to deliver, whether injury or they underperform, how do we get them mentally to stay focused and get that job done?
This is where probably, well, not probably, definitely a sports psychologist in the amongst the is good, as well as I think the selection of your team captain probably you need somebody who can, even if they don't, even not necessarily the best performer, but somebody who can get the team going, motivate, get them up. Those things, two things I think could help. But the psychologist is not just important at the game. It's something is something you need months before
Yeah,
Right.
you
to get
have you have
right.
to
It's
prepare
not
while
just
you're
a two-day
preparing.
thing at the game.
Yes.
Right.
While you're preparing the physical, you have to also be
Exactly.
preparing
Exactly.
the
Exactly.
mental and let them know that
Right.
look, this is the highest level. So if you go out there and your
Right.
teammate, just like in an interview, I don't know how many of you saw it, but there was a scare between the baton change between Gabby Thomas and Sydney, where the baton almost fell, but they recovered. They recovered nicely. So what I'm saying that to say that sometimes when your teammate doesn't get it right on the day, you have to have that mindset or that mental toughness
Right.
to push through and say, okay,
That's
I have to do this. I have to take
right.
one for the team. So maybe that's something that we need to
Teammate,
look at.
come up. Me have to step up. My dear.
Yes, right.
Yeah. It's
All right.
something like
All right.
that
In the
effect.
field now, we got 4 medals. A gold from Roger Stoner. Shot put, Rajinja Campbell, a bronze medal. Long jump, Wayne Pinnock, silver medal. And Shanika Ricketts, the lone female who won a medal at the Paris Olympics. A total of 6. And I know that we have not seen this number in ages because I was checking it, and we have not seen this number in a long, 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 long time.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
In a
but let's
long
look
time.
at let's look at the medals that we never got in the field. So, for example, women's high jump. You know,
Yeah.
Lamar Distin. You know, as much as people may say, "Oh, she wasn't a medal hopeful," she was a strong contender. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Two
I,
she
meters.
I
no
beg to differ, but anyway.
no. The thing about it, is that yes, she wasn't consistently jumping at 2 meters,
That's the
but the
point.
thing, but the thing about that one, she is someone who, if she was in the final, you know, she could have actually challenged, possibly the podium and so forth. Because if you look at it, 2 meters wasn't. I think 2 meters. Two
Yeah.
meters was what got you on the podium.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
2 meters
I
who
think
got
so.
you on your podium. Yeah. So you look at
But
Shanika Ricketts. You look at Kerry
Akile.
McLeod. Yeah, the- Akila Smith.
yeah.
Akila Smith in both the long jump and the triple jump. You look at Kerry McLeod in the men's long jump. You look at Tajay Gale in the men's long jump. So it's not even just the medals that we win, but it's just the fact that Jamaica had so much strong prospects
It,
in the
it,
field for us to even pivot from going into future games. You look at the
yeah.
men's discus. The men's discus, we had 3 Jamaicans in the final.
In the
Men's
final.
high
Only,
jump.
The
only country
only
lose out.
country, the
Lose
only
out.
country with 3 in the final.
Absolutely fine.
The
Yeah.
men's high jump, we had a
Beckford.
male in the final, Romain Beckford in the
Remain.
final. So and I said before, you think about how many athletes could have definitely put themselves out there. For example, if Christoph Bryan was at the Olympic Games, he could have possibly made the Olympic final. Because if you look
Who?
at it, the Christoph
Christoph?
Bryan, yes,
Ah.
because we look at the standard, the,
Based on the
what made the Olympic final, based on the standard that was used to
You
make the
mean made
Olympic
it?
final.
He could have made the 12. The 12 you're referring
He
to?
could have
the
made
top
he could have
12,
made the 12. He could have made the
Right.
top 12. So
based
no,
on
Probably.
his
Yeah.
personal best.
based on his
Mm.
Probably.
personal best, based on his season's best. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
when you
but
really
we
think
could.
about it, what no, what I just wanted to highlight is just the
Mm,
potential to actually improve upon this field of performance. Because I don't want Jamaica to say, "Oh, this is the field Olympics," and then that's it.
Yes.
We go back to the future Olympic Games, and we're back to the track.
So we
Track
need to
chasing all the
plan.
medals.
We need to plan, and we're now going to segue into
oh,
that. My
what?
first question is this
Mm,
topic that I have, the headline is serving the athletes. And my first question is, are the federations serving the athletes the way that they should? And we
Whoa.
have to be we have to be honest and we have to be frank about this. Are the federations serving the athletes the way that they should?
This is what I will say on the whole on this whole topic.
Sir, you failed the exam.
No.
Yes
Oh,
or
come
no?
in and answer.
Yes or no, and explain your answer.
It's not a
It's all
simple
right.
yes or
It's all
no.
right. Go ahead.
I
Go
don't think
ahead.
it's a simple yes or
It's
no.
it,
But
it,
anyway,
it, it,
For
let me not
me,
try to
no,
defend
they
you.
are not. They are not.
Go,
Me
go
not,
ahead,
not gonna
Aki.
mince words.
you know,
Go ahead,
it's not
Aki.
as easy as this. It's not easy as
Yeah.
yes or no because
Sure, it's not.
you know
Good
it's
night,
not
Regina.
because the
Let's
thing
say
about
good night to Regina Montague,
good night,
former coach of Dintil, outstanding champs
nice,
girl for Titchfield High School. Continue, sir.
yeah, good night. Um, has the federation served the athletes well? The federation served the athletes well. Um,
Federations. So we're talking
Are they
about
serving the
federations,
athletes the way
are they
they
serving the
should?
athletes the way they should? I'm not sure. I'm not gonna say yes, and I'm not gonna say no. Why I say I'm not
Okay.
sure? I'm not sure because you don't have a target or you don't have a goal to, to assess them, you know, to assess them in a sense that, you know, if they would have come out and said, okay, their goal going into the Olympic Games was to say, let's get the century mark. So the goal was to get the century mark for Jamaica, right? In terms of the Olympic Games and so forth. If you're looking at it from that standpoint, then, you know, what would have happened that would have prevented us from not attaining not attaining that mark? You can't completely blame the federations for that.
no.
But at the same time as well, the federations in a sense could have done things better, which could have
Right.
facilitated a better attempt at
Right.
getting those medals. So that's what I would say. So I'm not sure whether to say yes they have failed the athletes, no, or no they have failed the athletes. But what I will say is that a lot of more pertinent planning needs to be done going into our Olympic Games, and the planning cannot be the client. So let me give an example. So for example, we Jamaica, the heat in Paris, right? We, in summertime, Paris is hot. Right, good. I want to know, for example, were Jamaican officials allowed to go in Paris beforehand, at least a year before the Olympics, to test out the conditions, to see how the conditions feel and so forth, and then give a report to the JOA or the J3 or whatsoever, so that they would have
No,
known, okay,
that, that,
this is
the
this is the
GOA should
issue
have
that
done that.
yeah, this is the issue that we're facing here at the Olympic Games. Let us see what we can do. Let us see what we can muster up in terms of budget and so forth to ensure that when our athletes come to Paris, it's comfortable. We don't know if those things were done.
Your
So
thoughts, Ozzy? Or you finish,
Um,
Akil?
yeah, I'm
all
finished.
right.
I'm finished.
I'll say it this way. There is much more that could be done. Things could be done much better. I mean, Aki mentioned about the heat and the conditions. That was well known before. That it's gonna be hot. That the village would not have any air conditioning. I knew that. I mean, he's not a competitor. He's not a we know that. Most people were aware of that. That could have been addressed prior to, instead of after the athletes got there and days after the scrambling, and then you heard, yeah, we got some easy, that sort of thing. Leading up to the Olympics, the obvious differences between the J3A, although the Olympics is more than just track and field, but it's track and field we deal with. The J3A and the GOA. Um, I was aware about the quota restrictions that the IOC um, enforced and all that, and had to be, um, the numbers had to be honored. It seems as if between the JOA and the J3A, the communication, something just wasn't. as it should have been. Because to me, I don't see how difficult that should have been to, yes, the IOC has the restrictions, but you must can work something out and come to some reasonable agreement. Another issue with the situation with Kemba, again, to me that looked like us from a distance, because I'm still not certain as to overall what happened there. Communication seemed to have broke down somehow, and the
And
J3 is
Clunis as well.
not a body that I credit with proper communication.
All right. So
So there are those things that could have been done better for this Olympic, these games, and overall, we whole heap of things can be done better.
okay. So my question was, are the federation serving the athletes the way they should? And I listened to the both of you.
Yeah.
And your explanation, the both of your explanation sums up the answer to be no. They are not serving the athletes the way they should. They are not. Number one, there is no proper planning. It is obvious, and we see it in the result. There's no planning, because all of what you guys are saying,
Yeah.
no, remember, you are the federation that is in charge of taking these people out of the country to go and represent us. So one of the first thing you need to do, you need to find out about the conditions of where you're taking your people. Now, Steve Francis even come out, was it day 2 or day 1, and said, them not have no AC, everybody is have AC and them not have none, and they are waiting to get AC and all of that, and people were threatening to leave the camp. I don't know why is it that people are so afraid to say the federations, they are not leading, they are not planning, there is no strategic planning, there is no planning for how there's no projection of what we want to achieve when we go to these championships. There's no projection to say, okay, we're targeting 15 medals. How do
No,
we
they're
need?
not
Where are
aware.
we? Hold on, where are we going to get these 15 medals? So you say, okay, we can get some from the track, we can get some from the sprints, some from the middle distance, some from the field. Then you now have a short-term plan. Short-term plan is to lead you to your long-term plan. So your short-term plan would be to put some things in place, find out which coaches need some help in order for us to do this. Have a meeting with the coaches and say, look, we want to win 15 to 20 medals. What is it that your club need that we can help you with? And we work together. So that short-term plan would lead us to the 15 medals. But when we have athletes coaching themselves, when we have athletes training and them hungry, them not know if it's sleep, them not have no this and them not have no that. Clearly, we are not have not been doing any planning. Everybody, including myself, know that the place was going to hot. Why we never have some portable air condition and take them down there in each room or whatever? Beg them if you have to come up with a plan and a budget and say, look, we're going to Paris. We want the athletes to feel comfortable. Go to ATL and said, how can you help us to get something? Beg somebody a foreign, beg the thing. That all of that would come under the planning. What we do, Olympics coming up, we make the team, we just gone to Paris. Any medal we get, we settle for it. There's no projection, no planning for the athletes. Let us come back to reserve. You know that reserve athletes are allowed to go. Make sure that you find somewhere close to the camp if the reserves cannot stay in the village, to ensure that these athletes them have somewhere to sleep, somewhere to train, food to eat in the event we need. Athletes are supposed to travel from nowhere to come run tomorrow morning.
What reserves are there,
No, but what I'm saying, remember they said that the reserves are not staying in the camp. Hence why people like Kemba was not there. I'm not sure where Sachali Forbes stay.
But others are there. This is why
No,
I say
no,
no, hold on.
No,
What I'm trying to say, the athletes could not stay in the camp. I don't know where them stay.
No, man. It's so what happened is that see you had a quota for the reserve athletes who could have stayed
Yes.
there.
Right.
But so what happened is that Kimber would have exceeded that quota. That's why she wasn't able to stay in the
So
athletes
find
race at the
somewhere
time.
close and put the athletes. The 200-meter is another event. Why we never have a reserve for the 200-meter? And we all know, even the blind man knew that Sherika wasn't
But
100%. Why was there no reserve for the 200-meter women?
we had anybody else that made the standard.
Yeah, man. What's her name? Who came fourth at the trials? I would have to go back and look at the ranking. I would have to go back and look at the ranking. But the point that I'm trying to make, they are not serving the athletes. The next thing we're going to segue into now is coaches to championship. I agree that they cannot carry everybody individual coaches,
Cannot.
but how should we ensure? How can we ensure that all the athletes who are on the team have access to coaches while on national
No,
duties?
but what I want to highlight, HP, is that even though you cannot carry every single coach, sometimes all the coaches are asking for is accreditation. Not necessary
Yeah,
for
but
you to
I
carry
think there's
them.
I'm glad
on
you
that
said
too.
it and I did not have to say it.
I think there is constraint on that too. I think. I'm
We
not
were
absolutely
given,
sure.
we were told that we could carry 15. I heard that
Yeah.
only 9 accreditations
No,
were
well,
given.
that is an issue.
What happened?
No, that is an issue.
What happened to the other 6? I
That is
don't
an
know.
issue.
But even if you, I agree, you cannot carry everybody individual
Right.
coaches, but there's no way we should have athletes there and they don't have access to a coach for 2 or 3 weeks while they're on the
Yeah, but
country's
if we look
duty.
at the coaching, the panel of coaching that was to Team Jamaica, I think we covered the whole spectrum of the events from the coaches that were assigned. Sprints, throws, we had Julian Robinson was there for throws.
We
Yes, I
never
know
And we
had
had
Julian
coach
was there.
that covered jumps and everything. So
we
we,
never had
I
someone for
think
high jumps.
Which
pardon?
drums coach was there? Carrie Lee Ricketts.
For
Um
high
I think
jump,
Car- I think no, not for high. I'm just saying drums coach.
yeah, I know he was there. I'm not
Carrie Lee
sure.
Ricketts, who is the
Was he part of
husband
the
of.
Team Jamaica or what he
Yeah,
was?
I think he is a part. I think he was listed on
Oh,
on the list.
okay.
But
I'm not
my
okay.
question is, all of these things is all of this come down to planning. Absolutely no planning. Because
Agreed.
number one, you know that the Olympics is coming up. The JOA, the J3A, and the coaches who will be traveling for national duties should be having regular meetings. The team manager, all of those people should be having regular meeting and everybody assign duties. So if you're the dorm mother, if you in charge of food, if you in charge of this, everybody check, 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 so that when our athletes go away they are comfortable. I'm tired that our athletes go away to compete for the country and they are not comfortable where they are. So back to my question, are the federation serving the athletes the way they should? No,
The way they should.
the way they should. And that's why I keep repeating it. They are not doing it. And even the baby on the breast know that.
Okay. Um,
They are not. They are not.
one of the things they say that I think we keep on doing, and I'm sure there may be some rational for it, but I can't figure it out. Is naming coaches and the well, primarily the coaches for the respective teams. We always wait till after the trials to do that. To me, the coaches and all that should be named months in advance. Months
Why
in
you
advance.
going? Why you going to touch that topic now to draw me out again?
It should be named months in. I don't know if, as I said, there may be some rationale for it, but I can't see. That's why sometimes I don't. There may be a very good reason why they don't, But
No, there's
no, but
no
no. But the
reason.
thing,
No
no, but
reason.
I don't
but
know.
the thing, no, but
None.
the thing about is that it's the case where the federation names the coaches or the coaches apply.
Good question. Very good question.
As far as I know, the
In
federation
America,
named the coaches.
you have to apply months. You have to apply from October last year. You have to apply to go. with the team for national duties, whether you're a coach, manager, you have to apply months in advance. And then they go through your resume or your information and they select coaches for different events. They select managers, they select female coaches for female relay team, male coaches, and that's how they do it. There is a process. And this is why I keep saying it comes back down to leadership. The leadership of our federations, they are not leading. They are not leading. And we are seeing it because too many things are happening. Too many mistakes are happening. And we cannot continue like this in the 21st century. This is coming from way back when I have interviewed and taught to athletes who competed for Jamaica in the 60s and the 70s, and they had these problems that we continue to see. And the thing is that the federation management keep changing, but the script is the same. We need to serve the athletes better. We have to serve the athletes better. They are riding on the athletes' back. Is the athletes' ticket they are riding on. If you take the athletes out of the equation, there's nowhere for them to go. So treat the athletes right. Do what you need to do. Athletes should not be left off team. Reserves should not be absent from the camp. If they cannot stay in the village because of IOC rules, then ensure that early you find a place close by that they can stay, provide a coach or coaches to train them and make sure they have food, proper nutrition, and everything
But I have
in the event. You need to call on them.
but I also want to ask a real honest question, because we also have to look at IOC a little bit more closely. The question is that rule where there was a quota on how many athletes were allowed to
Mm-hmm.
to be in the camp. How early was that rule communicated?
I don't know. I don't
Because
know.
because we
Months ago.
also
And maybe it was communicated a long time ago. Maybe it was
Months ago.
communicated
Months
early.
ago.
I don't see
And it's
why
not
that rule would
all
not
sports,
have been
it's
communicated early.
it's not it's
no,
months ago. Months ago. And
but
it's
then
all sports affected. It's not just
understood
uh,
understood months ago. But given that it's the Olympic Games, don't you think something like that should have been communicated at least years ago?
That's what we're
no,
saying.
I
We're
said
not
months, but
sure.
it could very well have been a
I
long time
don't think
after.
it's a last minute. I don't think that
No,
is
it's
a
not.
last
I
minute
don't think
rule
so. I don't think a last minute.
because the world championship, your reserve can stay in the village. But the Olympic Games, I think
It's
they have their
it's
numbers.
cost cutting, it's part of the whole trying
Yeah.
to
Mhm.
limit the cost.
But it doesn't mean that you cannot carry your reserve and host them close to the
But
village. You
you
can
can,
do
right,
that.
exactly.
You can do that.
Because
So
because because even as I'm thinking about GOA and G3A and so forth, could it also be that some of the policies of the IOC at these Olympic Games, could it have actually put a greater microscope on the management of J3 and JOA? Because these Olympics, they if you look at it, if we're being honest, these Olympic Games in Paris, um, there were a lot of issues at these Olympic
There were, there
Games,
were, there were.
and I think you know maybe the organization of this Olympic Games really caused a greater microscope on the management of JOA, and J3 as well.
and
I
just
think
to
I see where
point
I
out
think I
and
see where
just
you're
and
going with
just
that, but yeah,
And just to point out too, a lot of the issues that were happening in Paris is not necessarily on the JOA. It is on the organizers of the
yeah,
Paris meet, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
Hmm.
Which I think
Because
what
each city, yeah,
Achille may be hinting at.
each
Mm.
city bid for it. They get it, so it is there now. They have to follow certain rules of the IOC, but in terms of organizing certain things, it would be the organizers, which would be Paris or France, if you want to put it at that. But my thing is that if you know that the athletes, your reserve, cannot stay in the village,
Make,
you need to
they
find a place
prepare.
close enough where you have food, boarding, and coaches so they can do warm up and little drills. So you have coaches staying there, you have a team that is staying there with them. And I don't want nobody to tell me that it is about money and costly, because the Olympics is every 4 years. We
No,
have 4 years to plan this thing and put
Yes,
it
money.
together properly.
but you also have to take into consideration as well that given that it's Olympic Games, some of the accommodations might have been very full.
No, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Planning. All right. I'm going to give you an example.
Everything escalate when it's them sort of thing. But
Next year,
I understand what HP saying.
next
I
year
understand
is
what
the
AP says as well.
next year is the world championship, right? And already a little group that I'm in reach out to say, look, we're going Japan next year. That's what they're saying. And already we have booked tickets. Today, we were doing planning and looking at reservations and ticket, and we are just at the end of the Olympics. So I'm saying that to say proper planning.
Agreed.
We have to, you cannot know that the Olympics is 4 years time, and then in the year of the Olympics you start
Scrambling.
doing all of these things. No,
Agreed.
already the tickets. All
Agreed.
right, I'm going to give you another example. Already the tickets for the 100-meter in Japan next year, already the tickets are being sold out.
And then
And this is next year.
and the thing about planning as well is that the planning for the Los Angeles Games have to start now. The thing about the Los Angeles Games is that Los Angeles Games provides an exceptional opportunity for Jamaica to actually carry their strongest contingent.
And I
Because if
can
you look
tell
at it,
you that America start planning for LA 28 already.
well, they are the host.
Yeah, outside of being the host, I'm not talking about the preparation for the facility and all of that. Already USA track and field start planning
And
for
that
what they
makes
want to do at home.
and that
Other
makes
countries, other countries already start planning for it. A
and
matter
that
of
makes
fact,
sense.
a matter of fact, when I was in Jamaica for this Olympic Games, I got a call from somebody and they said to me, HP, get ready because we're going to LA 28. And somebody was like, already? You guys have 4 years. That was what they said to me. They said, HP, we go in LA 28. So get yourself ready. So I'm just saying that to say we have to plan. Planning.
We have to
Without
plan.
planning, you are going to fail. And we continue to have these problems.
It's
I
not even
cannot
planning as
remember a championship that runs smoothly for Team Jamaica. There
it's not
always
even
have to be
about
some drama.
it's not even planning, but it's also it has to be pertinent as well. So even
But
for example,
proper
because
planning, not just planning. Proper planning.
It's
So you
not
yeah,
can
just
plan
planning,
the
you
things right.
long-term planning and
Proper
short-term
planning.
planning. The short-term planning to get you to the long-term
Yeah,
planning.
but
That's
because
proper
what we're not
planning.
doing.
because for example, even going into LA Olympic Games, we start planning from now in terms of the recruitment or the development of the athletes in different sporting arenas. And then would use the Commonwealth Games to say, okay, this is an opportunity to really see what these athletes can do under a games in a great game circumstance. And then now would have LA 2028 to say, okay, what in terms of LA 2028, I see a glorious opportunity for Jamaica to really have a large contingent. Reason being, LA, Jamaica's diaspora in the US is huge. And a lot of the talent in the diaspora definitely would want to be a part of the Olympic Games in 2028. And I think people often think that, oh, it's because You don't it's because they can't make the USA team while they want to represent Jamaica. You also have to understand that there's a lot of politics, a lot of things. I won't say politics. Let me not say politics, but there are a lot of things that go into representing the nation of the United States of America in any sport or in any event. So if any athlete has that opportunity to represent themselves, represent a country of their heritage at the Olympic Games, they are going to want to take that for the for LA. So I really do hope the recruitment starts from now. I think we should really go from swimming to gymnastics to the different sports that they would
Everything, anything that we can get
Let
into.
me see if I
cricket.
understand what you're saying. You're saying that we should be going out there seeking out these athletes who um
Yes,
across the sport.
across the sports.
Here's where I differ now. I'm
Hmm.
not saying we shouldn't accommodate them. If somebody want to represent Jamaica, you make the move. I see we doing it in
It has to
football
be
and I don't
mutual.
like it.
No, but
I
we do
think
it in
we do it.
football. We do it in
No, and
football.
It
it,
has
So
and
to
I,
be
I'm not yes, I don't like it.
no, but it has to
There's no
be.
commitment. There's no commitment to Jamaica. The first set of guys who came from England, 1998, and played for the was part of the squad. They in England said, "I want to play for Jamaica." They made the move. They made the contact. They
so
made the
you're
move.
saying, so you're saying if we make the move, people are not going to commit, but you
I'm
have to
not.
commit.
A lot of
But you
them
have
not
to
No,
committed. They're
no, no,
not.
no, no,
You
no,
see,
no.
there's
no, but
evidence
you
of
have
it.
to no, but
There's
from you
evidence.
switch the allegiance, the only way you will not commit is if you're not interested in the sport.
No, it's switching allegiance. Don't mean you're committed. You just get a
No,
chance to
no,
run.
but
No,
why
but
would
it,
you
no, no,
bother
no.
then? Why would you
Huh?
bother? Why would you waste
Because
your
But
time?
because of
no,
what?
but you
Some of them not going to make the US team
no,
and they think they can make Jamaica team.
Then if
no,
you
no,
think you
no, no,
can make the
and that
Jamaica
is
team,
We see
commit
it in
yourself
football. We
to
see
it.
it in football. A lot of the guys that will pursue that all that and they get the opportunity to play for Jamaica, they have absolutely nothing to do with Jamaica after that. Nothing. Disappear.
no, but you have
What do
no,
you mean?
no, but no, 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 but you have to
What?
understand, and
Nothing. They don't. They does
no,
not
no,
connect.
no,
All they
no,
do
no,
is
no.
took that opportunity to represent Jamaica,
I would
knowing that they've
no.
got
The
an
thing,
opportunity to play in a World Cup or the possibility of playing in a World Cup existed.
yeah,
And you don't
no,
see
but
them
the thing
actually,
up,
they're not committed to
no,
Jamaica.
but the
I'm
thing,
not
no,
saying
but the
that for
thing,
football, Yes, Aki, sorry.
yeah,
I
but
was,
the thing about is that the thing about
yeah,
is that if there is a vision,
yeah.
right? If there's a vision, if people can buy into the organization's vision and
Yes.
goals,
Mm-hmm.
right? The
Yeah.
commitment will be there. Look at the reggae girls. The reggae girls were recruited. Some of the girls were
Mm-hmm.
recruited to play for the reggae
Yeah.
girls. Look at how valiantly they played at the
I'm not
last
saying they don't
Women's
play
World Cup.
valiantly for a while and then they disappear. Some of them,
No,
they
No,
don't.
no,
no,
but
no,
they
no,
do
no.
their job. At least they do the job that
No,
they agreed
let me
to
tell you.
do.
And they
Tell.
never
Okay.
disappear. And they never
And they
disappeared.
never disappear. These
No,
girls
no.
are
I'm not saying
committed.
all. I'm not saying it's all will do that. But from the football experience, with the men,
No, but the men they did play. They played. I mean, until they retired, they played for Jamaica until they retired.
who? Which one of them?
All of them that played for Jamaica until they
No,
retired.
this is the
Robbie
point I'm trying to
Earl.
make. Eh? Some
No,
of them,
until
no,
they
the first four, Robbie Earl, Bobby Earl. Anyway,
No, but
no, but
but
the
you have
point
to,
I'm trying to make, they did commit,
yeah.
Ozzy. They did commit and they did their job
Commit is not just
until
going to play for the world. It's not just
no,
going
but
and
no,
playing the
no,
tournament.
no,
And that's not
but
what I call
Ozzy,
commitment.
what you
no,
want
but
Yeah.
them to
Ozzy,
commit to. What you want them to
but
commit to,
Ozzy,
Ozzy? To live in
but
They
Ozzy,
Jamaica?
have absolutely no to me.
Ozzy, no, Ozzy, but you
I
can't say that
let me tell you
because
straight. I would prefer to do without some of those people than go chase them and
No, if they're
chasing them all the
committed,
time.
I'll keep them. If
But
they're
of
committed.
course, if they show an interest
no,
and they want to play and they
Yeah, and
appreciate
these
with help.
footballers who came to Jamaica to play in the 1990 squad, they all were committed. Every
The
time there's a
first four,
lineup, they're all here.
the
Burton,
first
you
four.
after a while you thought that
Him,
they lived
him,
here.
Burton, Paul
They
Hall,
committed themselves.
Simpson. Those were the four who made.
That's what I'm
They made the
saying.
move, and
They were committed.
yeah, but the
No, but
difference was they made the move. They came and said, "I want to be a part of this."
but the
But
thing
the
about it
others
that
who we chase and all that, we don't see them.
It's not a
Ozzy,
matter
no,
of
but
chasing, you're
We
no,
did. That's
recruiting.
what exactly what we
no,
did.
no,
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 we're not
And that's what
chasing.
we're
no,
doing
You're
right
Ozzy,
now.
recruit. Hold on, Ozzy. You're not
We
Ozzy,
chasing,
chase, we chase
You're
them.
recruiting
Ozzy.
We chase them
somebody
now.
to do a job, and they will accept if they want to do it. If they don't want to do it, they decline, and you move on,
But
just like
Ozzy,
any other sport.
wait, no,
I
but
prefer to do it without those.
Ozzy,
Yeah.
But you have to also look at it, because you have to look at it. Yes, you're saying that they may not be committed, but you also have to look at what the organization, what the organization offered these individuals, right? It's not just offering them an opportunity to participate at the Olympics. Because
Mhm.
remember, yes, I'm representing Team Jamaica, but at the same time as well, I have to qualify to be at the Olympic Games. How is it
Oh,
that the
yeah.
Jamaica, how is
Yeah.
that the GOA, how is that the GOA is going to assist me, in my attempts to qualify for the Olympic Games? So I get what you're saying, is that it's not a case where it has to be a balanced approach. It has to be a mutual approach where the JOA seek these individuals, but at the same time as well, these individuals meet the JOA in terms of their interest to represent the country.
And
It
with
has to
that
be a mutual
said,
aspect.
now to the next question. We're going to move. I like how we segue in, with what Akil just said. The next question is,
Mm.
how can we get people to help athletes who don't get to a certain level yet? They're struggling, but they don't get to a certain level yet. How can we help our athletes to
Right.
get help, to
You
help
have
them
to.
to get to another level? And I'm going to use Rajinja Campbell. I don't know how many of you saw his interview, but the young man was ready to walk away from the sport because he could not manage it with a 9 to 5 job. How can we help these people who
Yeah, but he
have
was getting
the
assistance,
passion? No, but what
Anyway.
I'm saying is
He's fine.
that he
Yeah.
was
No,
still doing a
I,
9 to 5. He was
yeah.
still doing
No, but
one of the things that I observe that we do a lot,
Mhm.
we give to people who already have.
Ah, good
yeah,
point.
but and another thing I want to highlight
Good
as well
point.
as is that
Good,
we need to understand that
good
Rajendra
point.
Campbell lives in the States. Whatever assistance that he would have received,
Mhm.
it would have been it's in US dollars, right? So
Yeah, but
recently when
do
I
you
heard,
know what assistance he was getting? Level
yeah,
up?
we
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
No, we don't know, right?
Right.
But at the same
I want to know.
as
Yeah.
yeah, but at the same time, about the same time
But
as
it
well.
doesn't sound like he was getting a lot because he still had to do a 9 to 5 job.
Yeah, but no, in
Exactly.
fairness, though, no, in fairness, we, I believe we must beat the J Tree when them deserve to get beaten. But it's not like we're not like USA track and field with abundance of money. So
It's
You
there's
know
not
why?
there's
abundance of
point.
money.
Hold on, no. You know why we don't
No,
have
no,
abundance of money? You know why
no,
we don't have abundance of
because we
money?
are a
We
small
don't
country.
have any fundraising plan. We don't
No,
have
no,
a
no.
plan. None. All we have is what we get from sponsorship. We don't go out and raise funds. We don't do nothing. Even when we have meets at the stadium, we don't even market it for people to come in so we can collect the gate receipts. We don't do nothing. We just sit down and whatever check we get for sponsorship. And that alone can't do it. We need people to, with
You know,
ideas, we need people to be planning. We need
As it,
fundraising activities to
no,
generate additional funds on
I
as
what
it,
we are
agree
getting.
with that.
as
And
Yeah, yeah.
furthermore, we should have some funds aside for athletes who are struggling. So when an athlete reach out and say, I'm a thrower or I'm a this or that, but I'm struggling. I left college and I'm struggling. We supposed to find a way to assist that
But
athlete. So
the
we're just
J
supposed to
trade
wait.
does that, They do that. It
Yeah,
may
but
not be
what
to the
I'm
level that the J
and
trade
that's
does it. The J trade does it. The JOA does it.
I'm not saying
no,
that
but
they
no,
don't.
It's
I'm not
actually
saying
no
that
through
they
no,
government
don't,
through
but
the
we
sport.
No,
No,
no, no,
I'm
no,
not
no. But
saying they don't, but we
Yeah.
have to do it a little better. We have to
It's
do
thank
never
you.
enough.
better
It's never
at
enough.
it.
It's never enough. It's never
No, no,
It
enough.
no, no. But
can
as
be
no,
enough. It can be enough.
no, but
No, even all right.
Ozzy,
No, here I say it's never enough. Even in the US, where they had a program to assist athletes, there were complaints similar that some of the athletes it's not reaching the right athletes. Even in Europe, some of the European countries,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. Why is
it
it not
doesn't
reaching the
doesn't
right
no no
athletes?
no no it doesn't reach some of the needy. This is the point I'm
And
trying to
that is
make
the
because
problem
Well,
that
yeah,
I have.
no,
huh?
That's the problem I
no,
have,
no,
you know.
No
Ozzy,
no
look at it.
yeah
This is yeah, this issue of the money not this issue of sponsorship not there in the sport, and people
yeah
not getting as much sponsorship as they could. This is a world athletics issue. It has to do with the financial model of athletics on a global scale, in my humble opinion, right? However, what I believe
great.
that what yeah, elaborate. So for
Mm.
example, right, the fact that you have 48 athletes, or yeah, 48 athletes competing at an Olympic Games or as a World Championships. Let's keep it simple. World Championships. 48
Mm.
athletes and only 8 athletes are compensated.
Oh, in an
That is
event.
not a
Yeah,
healthy financial
I
model
mean,
in an
48 in one
event.
event.
48 in one event and only 8 alone is being
All right.
compensated. That is not a
Only
healthy
the
financial
finalist,
model.
only the
What?
finalists.
Only the
No,
finalists are compensated.
I can't
And
argue with you
to
on that.
So,
I
add
so
can't
the
argue
to
with you on that.
but so no,
But
so the
mm,
so the
but
thing about is that J3,
mm,
what I think HP's alluding to, I think, is the fact that J3, the question is, how can they do a better job in what you call it again now,
getting funds for one.
getting funds
Yeah,
outside of the financial model of world athletics. And the thing about
yeah.
is that there can be more that there is more that they can do to get to
Uh,
raise funds in order to
All right,
support
listen
the
to this now,
athletes.
guys. Listen
one
to
of the
this.
reality. Yeah, okay.
Hold on, Ozzy. Listen to this. In
Uh-huh.
Paris, right?
Yeah,
The kit that is being sold is the football kit. And a percentage of that money is going to go to the JFF. So instead of track and field kit being sold there, and I've always talk about
RJOA.
merchandise selling. Why is it that we don't have no merchandise? The amount of merchandise that we have can sell. We not sell nothing.
So so J
Nothing.
yeah,
so
but
JFF
I can't
basically
see
benefiting
So
from Jamaica,
JFF is benefiting from Paris and
and
we
they
are
don't have
not.
no and they have no
And they don't have any
representation.
representation there.
mm,
Why are we not thinking outside of the box? Why are the people not using up the boardroom? Where is the marketing people? Where are the experts? Where are the planners? Where are the operations people? Where are all those people that is supposed to be putting a good plan together and said, okay, next year is a world championship. We're targeting $50 million. How can we get this $50 million? We have some events here, there, and that, sell some merchandise, get some Jamaica t-shirts or whatever it is, sell some caps,
no,
start a
When,
campaign.
let me
there are some things that we can do. I
let,
mean,
let,
They're
teachers is not the
sleeping.
easiest thing to sell
let,
They're
things,
let,
but
sleeping.
we
They're
can
so
still,
sleeping. They're sleeping.
so
you
for
know.
example, right? Let's look at this. If Puma really, if Puma really loved our country, their spikes, or even just not even spikes, shoes. If they look at the Jamaica black, green, and gold
Mm.
combination, create a black, green, and gold shoes for
Yeah, man, they have
Jamaica.
that.
Like they have that.
Yeah, man, yeah, man, the track shoes. Yeah, man.
Not necessarily track
Yeah, man.
shoes only. I'm talking
Mm.
about regular footwear. I'm talking about regular
Oh,
Let me
footwear,
tell
and then
you.
a
you mean
percentage
just regular shoes?
yeah, regular shoes, and a percentage
Oh,
of
okay.
that goes towards the J3A.
I'm going
Not
to show
just
you
tracks,
something.
not
You
just
see,
track
you see
spikes.
this. You see this. What Adidas is doing. I
Mm-hmm.
put together a proposal last year. I did it November. And I reach out to a Puma rep and tell them what that I want to have a meeting with them to collaborate with them. on this same thing. If you don't believe me, if them check them email, them can see the email that I sent, and one of the items that I list in it was to discuss designing kit for fans. That was one of the
Well,
things. The
the,
same thing that the
the,
Adidas is doing. So if they go back to that email that I sent that person,
mhm.
they will see the outline. I think I sent it in January. I put the proposal together, everything. I still have it on the same computer that we're using.
And then,
That I
Well,
wanted to collaborate with them in designing a kit for fans because I have an idea what the fans are asking
well,
for.
the
And nobody
consumer
contacted me.
contract ends shortly. So,
Nobody contacted me about that. And look there now. Is a football jersey was selling. I
and
went to the Grand Gala at in
mhm.
Jamaica, Independence Day. And when you look in the stadium, most people had on the football Adidas kit. That was what a lot of people wearing. So the
Mhm.
JFF look like them starting to
Could do
understand
something.
the
Mm.
marketing and getting the fans involved because fans want to wear their team clothes. You cannot find a track and field kit to
Understand
wear.
this? Right.
I've been looking track and field kit for years. And,
Literally.
and you can't find none because why is it that we're not selling merchandise to get a percentage of it to go into a fund
Reasonable.
to help?
Yeah.
And all of these things, all they have to do is think them up, go to their sponsor, go in our boardroom and say, look, a new contract is coming. These are some of the things that we would like to do. How can you meet us halfway? We need to
Um,
set up
and
a
then
fund.
well, and then and another thing as well is that they don't have to. It's not a case where it has to be Puma, Adidas, or Nike. It can also be companies from the Middle East, companies from
Well, the
Asia,
thing is
from
that they're
China.
not going to want a clash because if
yeah,
you're
yeah.
already being
Apparel,
sponsored
right?
by an apparel, you cannot go with another apparel.
Yeah,
You can go
probably.
with
Yeah,
one at
the
a time.
contract
Just like,
probably.
No,
yeah.
but you not understand what I'm saying is that what I'm saying is that there are other markets to tap into. For example, Emirates. Emirates,
Oh, to have a
Emirates,
shirt
yeah,
with their logo
yeah,
on it. Okay, but
exactly,
okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, I see
But
what you're saying.
exactly.
wouldn't that be another apparel?
No, Emirates is
Airline,
a airline.
Emirates
Oh, you're
Airline.
talking about the airline.
The
Yeah, they
airline,
sponsor like
Okay,
yes,
okay,
Manchester
okay,
City and
okay,
some other clubs. Yeah,
exactly.
okay.
And the
I
thing
think
okay.
about
that's what you're saying, Akil.
I mean,
Yeah.
and the thing about is that Jamaica is a powerful brand in
I think that's what
track
you're
and
saying.
field.
Yeah.
But we don't know.
Jamaica is a number two ranked nation in track and field.
Listen,
Um,
Jamaica by
There's a
itself,
lot of there's a lot of
just the
money
name
in
Jamaica is a brand. But the
that.
yeah,
There's
powers
a lot
that be don't understand.
there's a
They
lot of
don't
money
get
to
it.
be gained, Ozzy. Trust me, there is a even if there's
no,
not enough
I
money,
agree. I agree with you.
there's
They
a lot
just
of money.
all they need to do is to have the conversation. Nobody is having certain
Let me look.
conversation. And this is
Listen.
why every time there's a trials or there's a track meet at the stadium and it empty, it eats me away because I'm saying you can simply come up with a pass, an affordable pass to get into the stadium instead of having the stadium empty. If it's even to create, especially for the trials over 4 days, create a season pass for the bleachers. Create two type of season pass. One for student athletes and another one for adults. Have them coming in every day. And I've been saying this on this program from how long. They are so many. They just need to get creative. They need to employ a person that understand the business of sport. We do not understand the business of sports, hence why we are where we are. Jamaica shouldn't be talking that we don't have money to put up
That
five
is
or
true.
10 reserve in a camp for 10 days. That should be an easy thing to do.
Um,
But if you don't plan, you it is
well,
going to fail. And this was why Kemba had to leave where she was to get
Spain next
to
door.
wherever she was in Spain. Wherever
Yeah.
she shouldn't have had traveled from so far. Kemba should have been right there next door to the facility. You understand? So whoever were the reserve who could not be a part of the camp,
All right.
you just find one place to put them and it done. Feed them, have coaches over there, them get up in the morning, do them drills and whatever, keep them body ready. So in the event, just like how we had to call on Alana Reed for the relay and whatever, because two people drop out. That's what you do. You plan, and I
Um,
cannot say planning enough. But we're going to move to the next.
no, before you move, HP. All right. On the J3, I'm looking on the website right now. They have some committees. I went just that they have listed: competitions, athletes welfare, technology, security and facilities, finance. It's everything from competition to athlete support passes through that. Okay. Medical, women's commission, legal, selection. They have sponsorship. Yeah, so apparently there is some sort of sponsorship committee. No, I mentioned this deliberately. It's about a year I've been checking this, and every time it's, let me say, when you try to see get some information as to the committee, it says the information on this committee or commission or committee has yet to be uploaded. Please allow some time for us to get the relevant information ready for your convenience. This is about a year I've been checking this.
Listen, we
So
need to
it seems like
before
they think of the thing, but I don't know the next step missing.
before you go any further, let us welcome Alicia Forbes. She's saying she's late for the party. Welcome, Alicia. She's saying call out the athletes' welfare, make me hear. But welcome,
So
Alicia. Thanks for being here. But you know, the next thing I want us to look at federation. Coaches, this thing where federation and coaches threatening athletes because athletes speak out how they feel, you know, threatening to ban them, threatening to suspend them, threatening to sue them. I mean, athletes are not allowed to
let,
express how they feel.
let me careful on the answer. It depends on what they say. If the
Yeah, it depends on
athlete
what
has
they
a
say for sure.
concern and something that affect them, I think they should be able to freely speak
Freely express it.
and freely speak. And
let
this,
let us look at Daniel Thomas Dodd. Daniel Thomas Dodd, when she expressed her frustration, that lady did not say anything about money. Not one thing she said about money. But yet the two federation came out saying, oh, she's getting financial help and we're going to ban her and all of that. And then of course they withdraw the statement to say they did not say that. But the lady did not say anything about the money. She talked
No,
about
but
not having a
no,
coach.
no, the question,
no, but
the,
but look at her performance though. Let us
go
call
on,
it a
actually.
speak. Let us speak for itself. She should have qualified for the final.
Indeed, indeed.
So so you literally can't say that 2 weeks away from your coach physically wouldn't have affected your preparations.
No, my
It was a
next
woman's
question.
shot.
No, but
Go ahead.
there was an assigned coach. The J3 had an assigned coach. I know it's not the same with your personal coach, but there was an assigned
So
coach.
how are we going to fix this problem now? How are we going to either ensure that enough coaches travel
We
with the
never have
team?
enough coach.
Because you cannot have the athletes there for 2 weeks and they don't have access to a coach, whether you assign the coach or their
J3
coach
had an
is
assigned. Julian
there.
Robinson was an assigned.
Yes,
So
yeah.
is
Assigned
it that she
coach.
did not have access to Julian
I,
Robinson, or is it that she wanted her
it's,
personal
she
coach?
seemed as if she wanted a personal coach.
Well,
It
I
seemed that.
don't
Let
know,
me
but
careful and say, right. Oh, that's what you were saying. I saw the thingy, the
she
clip.
didn't talk about money. She didn't talk
No,
about
no,
money
no,
any at all.
no. But the money thing came about. All right, let me careful now, because I saw one video where Wayne Walker was speaking to the JOA president.
Hmm.
And the question that Wayne Walker put to him, he said, it is like words to the effect that it is said that no assistance and blah 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 is being provided for the field events. So the money thing was in response to that specific question that I saw in that
But I
video.
don't.
It
But
seems that
how
if
did
you are
money come up? How did money come in the
no assistance,
conversation?
you mentioned about assistance that they are not
No, but she did not say anything
no
about
no no no
money.
no
So
wait
what?
no I am telling you the question that was asked of the JOA.
And I am asking the question, why
right.
did the journalist even talk about money
because
when she did not
because
speak
The
on money?
question was
because
that they're not getting any support. Field events
yeah,
in
she did.
general.
Yeah, but she did not talk about money. She said support and for the field events, and she said her coach or no
No.
coach. So
Dean
how is
Walker
it that
never.
every
No, the
let me
question
tell you,
I'm saying,
you
eh?
see some of these people cause contention
No.
But
This is
all
why
the
I'm careful,
time.
you know, because
no,
sometimes some videos out there where I don't see. This is why I'm
The-
hesitant to even
no,
comment
no,
on
that
no,
is
it.
what, but I saw her interview. She
No,
said,
yeah, but the
I saw
question
her
I'm talking
interview.
about the
She was talking
interview
about
with
her
Wayne
coach not
Walker,
being
right,
there, and she
right.
said Jamaica don't pay enough attention about on the field events, and she's not wrong.
Eh?
She's not wrong. We don't pay any enough attention to
No, it's
field
not that we don't pay
events.
enough attention.
We don't pay enough attention to field events. We don't. So
You
why
see,
is it? So why is
mm,
it people are making it look like she said something that don't go? So we don't. Even
no,
the coverage of field events at
no,
track meets, sometimes you don't
stand by
even
that. Yeah.
you understand?
Because,
I
but
don't get it.
and then mention was being made about how much money and you see what I
Because
would
they
like to,
responded with
what
that.
I would like to see, you see, I know we're not going to see, is in the J3. In fact, the secretary, Ludlow Watts, in one interview, he said that people can come and look at them financial statements going back 10 years to look at what they have done and all
no,
that
no,
sort of
no,
thing.
no,
I
No,
would
but
no, I
how
know,
love
no,
to.
money,
no, no,
but
no, no.
how money come
This,
into this
this,
discussion? That is my question.
No,
this is no, this is the thing, and this is the problem that
The
I
money
have.
because
part is
comment
just a
was a general
distraction.
comment.
No,
It
no.
was not.
The
Yeah,
money part is a distraction from what the lady was really saying.
no.
No. But you have to also
No.
understand, you
A
also
comment was
understand,
made, a general comment about field events not getting enough support.
but
I can't remember the exact word that she used.
but you have,
Amenable. She said that the organizations are not amenable to field events.
no, but you have, no, but the thing about it is that remember that support is not only just money given to
No, I know
athletes.
that. I know. I'm aware of that.
And
Yeah.
this is
Support is
why I don't understand
support also includes
how that is
infrastructure as
leading this
well.
discussion. Why is it leading the discussion? You see, and that's what we do, we don't
But you see,
listen
blame the
to
journalists. The journalists will need
understand.
for that. The persons who are doing the interviews need for tackle them, and they have a problem with them.
No, but it goes back to my fundamental issue
Mm.
when it comes on to track and field in general. Why is it that everything is so secretive? Why
No,
is
which is
it
why.
that why is it that why is it that athletes some athletes get support, some athletes don't get no
Hold
support,
that
but we
thought.
don't
Very good
know.
question. Hold that thought. Alicia Forbes is saying the initial discussion wasn't about money. The type of support she was making reference to wasn't financial.
And I agree to that.
And I totally agree with that. So when everybody come out now and I talk about financial, and I'm like, why are they moving away from the real issue that the young lady is having, the problem that she's having? Because I don't think that money is her problem. She's talking about the fact that she's there for almost 2 weeks without a coach.
She said that
Why we're
too.
not
But
addressing?
she made a
Why we're
general
not
comment. She made a
addressing that?
general
Why
comment,
nobody talking
and
about
she's
that?
doing that also. It's not, it's, she
I'm
made a
just
general
annoyed
comment.
with some of these
She made
people.
a
That's why
general comment
I don't
about
know.
field events. Not even throws are
She
artists.
was talking
Field
about
events.
field events, and she was
Field
right.
events. And then a general
As a
comment.
country, we do not pay enough attention to field events, and everybody's saying it. We have coaches saying it. When you look, I have
Support.
some of the shots where coaches are saying they're happy that the field events did this, so now Jamaica can spend some more time on the field event. So what she said wasn't a lie. We don't show enough respect to field events. And going back to your question, that was a very good question. Why is it that our athletes are not getting help equally, especially the ones who are struggling? Why
When they don't.
nobody is seeing the athletes who are struggling to help them?
Okay, no, good question. Why the ones who really need the help not getting the help?
Not getting the
And
help.
deserving. And deserving of the help. But they may need, but they may not be deserving.
When
Good
are we
question.
going to what?
And
I know we're
can
not going to get an
and
answer for that.
and
So
another question
It's
would be,
both. It's both
can
ways.
the
It's both.
J3 and do more with what they have?
No,
Are they
but the
doing
thing about
the
it is
best
that
they can with what they have?
no, the thing about it is that is that
Mm-hmm.
J3 J3 we there may be limits to what J3 currently has right now. But when it comes
Mm-hmm.
on to the athletes themselves, right? The an athlete getting help, it's two ways, because the athlete has to present themselves as a marketable individual. They have to present themselves as a professional, a track and a sports professional, for private sector groups to really say, okay, I'm willing to invest in this person and stuff like that, right? On the flip side though, and to be honest, we don't know if the J3 we don't know if the J3 have like seminars or forums for which athletes are invited to just educate them on the professional aspect of the sport. No,
we
I have
have
a
a
problem.
lot.
I have a
We
problem with the fact that we as a public don't know that.
we have a lot of athletes who are very professional and they are not getting any help. Look at the athletes that are being sponsored locally. Don't let me have to call them name. Just look at them in your mind. The athletes who are being sponsored by local companies in
That's
Jamaica.
corporate Jamaica. They don't believe in
Look at the athlete. It's only a handful, and it is a handful of
it's
stars.
yeah, corporate Jamaica is reluctant to
Okay,
support to put money into development.
there you
That's
go.
No,
me
no,
making
no,
a
no, no,
general.
no, 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 no. Let me clarify
The
something.
sponsorship
You
that
then add to
local
what I'm
No,
saying.
no, no, no,
local
no, no,
no,
no.
but
Corporate.
the data is there to show it. The sponsorship that local Jamaica is giving is to all star athletes.
Going,
Look at the athletes them. Look at the athletes who are getting local sponsorship. All star athletes who have
Yes,
done it,
that's
who have
true.
no, no,
won
That's
medal
true.
or whatever. The
no, but
others are
no,
The
struggling.
majority, the majority.
no,
Yeah,
The
fair enough.
majority.
Yeah.
but we have to also understand as well is that corporate Jamaica, yes, the corporate Jamaica is willing to sponsor initiatives that they will see where there is a long-term benefit. The problem is that there is
Uh,
long-term benefit in track and field. But the thing
There,
about
listen, they
um,
sponsor stars and the argument done.
I different with you
Stars.
there. Actually, I different
And
with
I
you.
can call the names, but I won't call the
Yeah,
names.
yeah,
But
but
as
they're
stars,
known. They're well
them,
known. They're well known.
yeah,
Yeah.
they are well known. The
If
data is
if
right in
but no
front of
no
us.
but
Everybody know. All right,
can
but
you
you
look
name
you
me one
remember
athlete, name me
but look
one athlete who is not popular and is a star that is being sponsored by a company in Jamaica. Name me
but
one. Just give me one.
but
Just give me
look
level
one,
just
please.
I saw where level just get up some kind of deal or the other day.
There you go. Okay. There you
But
go.
he is
but
kind of the exception.
He is, yes, he wasn't, I wouldn't say he was struggling like how I see some athletes struggling, not have nowhere to stay, them hungry. Hey, if you hear some athlete's story, man, you cry.
No, I
And they
know,
still go out
I know
there
where
and they
I
still
know
go
where I mean.
out there and them do it.
But
They do
but
it.
again, I keep corporate Jamaica reluctant to put money into development.
Hold on a minute. Look here, Hask. That person is a star in their own right. So go about your business. But I
The,
get what you're saying. I get what you're
the
saying.
I don't know if you remember. Actually, you never born them time.
no, but
2008.
that's we never ban them time there.
2008. After the success in 2008 and the whole heap of ambush marketing that took place where the corporate
Yeah, man.
some
Scrape
of
up
the
the
companies
athletes,
were
them.
putting out big ads in the newspaper, congratulating, blah blah blah, and all that sort of jumping on the success. Man, I know I'm making
Yeah,
a
we need to
general
do. We
comment.
need to do
No, no,
better.
no, no,
And
no, 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 no. No, but I think,
Yeah.
but you also you also have to understand as well. I also have to understand as well. 2008, it was this big success for Jamaica's track and
I
field. It was,
understand what happened
yeah,
2008.
yeah.
Fully.
But no, but at the
Fully.
same time as well, it's like, okay, you know, how is it that we can move on from just okay, be the big stars and now supporting like the growth and development of track and field in this country. The thing about is that a, a, a private sector, private, we're not private sector companies, they're going to look at the fact that they go on the J3 website and they can't see the committees, the members of the different subcommittees. They're going to look at that and they're going to be like,
I heard that
okay,
there was no board information
Well,
after
but
the board when you
right.
went on the website, you couldn't find the board of directors on the website. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what happened there.
No man, I think that's
A
there.
few days ago, no man. I think it's when I was in Jamaica. I think it was like
Oh,
at about day 7, day
you
8,
mean
when of course
the
we
whole
keep
structure, the whole
collapsing.
structure?
Yeah, I heard that the board
Oh,
you couldn't find the board
it
of
used to be there. I
directors.
used to see it. It used to be there. It used
Yeah,
to be
that's
there.
it used to be there. That's what people were saying. They
Yeah,
weren't seeing
unless
it.
they upgrade it.
But
But
the thing
that's
is
not
that
like you mean the whole structure of the leadership.
yeah. I was
Like
told that it
president is
wasn't.
vice president. Yeah, that was well maybe
Yeah,
it's
it
something
was
they
there,
upgraded.
but
But I have always
during the
every time I
Olympics
look
at one
for the
point,
thing, I see. Mm.
yeah, but during the Olympics at one point it wasn't there. So I don't know if the
Oh
site
well.
was down or what, or they remove it.
Yeah,
But the thing
yeah,
is that we
that's
have a
how it is.
lot of athletes in Jamaica going through their development and they need help. And help doesn't mean you have to give them a big check every month.
Oh, absolutely. That's right.
You can pay a lot. Most of our training camps are in Kingston. I don't know one training camp where the outside of Kingston, maybe
No,
Spanish Town, the Forest.
yeah,
And we
right.
have athletes coming from all over the country to train in Kingston. You can pay
and
for a one bedroom. You
and
can pay
when
for a one bedroom
when and that is
accommodation
and that is
for an
and that
athlete. You can buy them grocery for the month. There's some little things that you can do to help them. You don't have to give them a big check,
and when
but you can
and
say,
Let
all
us
right, we'll
invest in
pay
what it
a
does.
$35,000 rent for you every month for a year, for 2 years, for whatever. We can give you food every month. There are a lot of companies in Jamaica, and we can do that for
and that
some of these
and
athletes.
that in itself is a problem. The problem is, why is it that is only Kingston alone you can set up base? Why is it that most of the clubs are in Kingston,
All of them,
right?
they're
Because
Kingston
they're
and
gonna
St. Catherine.
because we're not
Let,
because
let me
that's where the
answer by
facilities
asking.
are.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
But no, but then that is a major problem
That is a
because
major problem.
we
because
have a facility in Montego Bay that is
Which
yes,
facility we have in Montego Bay?
great.
You mean
Catherine.
We have
Montego Bay
all
that is out of commission for how many
it,
years?
for years. There's talk about
the same
refurbishing
this
and
the
nothing.
same Monty
Absolutely nothing.
the same Montego Bay, it's a Montego Bay Sports Club, same Montego Bay Sports Club where they had the Carifta games. I don't remember.
The
I
place
think it was
football,
Is
right?
it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Come on,
is it?
Catherine
yeah,
Hall. Same place.
yeah, Catherine Hall. The same Carifta
Mm.
games with
But
Javon. I mean,
the
well,
facilities
not about that.
deteriorate and all that.
It's same one. It's same one.
No, but how are these facilities allowed to be to how are these facilities
allowed to run down like that.
allowed to break down like that when you have J3?
No, it's
Me
not J3.
love
Not
me
J3 response.
me
No, no, no,
love.
no, no, no,
No,
no, no,
I
no, no. It's
understand
not.
where he's going.
No,
I
it's not.
understand
It's
where he's
no, no. You're
going.
not getting what I'm saying. Yes, it's not J3's fault, but at the same time as well, at the same time as well, if you are a body, right? If you are a body and you are probably one of the most successful sporting bodies in the nation, why is it that the advocacy is not at a level where you can prevent the
You can call
deterioration?
out people and say, look,
Yeah, but who said they don't do that? Who said J3 don't?
so that track and field can be developed in the
No, man.
western. I mean, Kingston is
It's
so
something that has.
saturated.
In fact, the last I saw something that they're supposed to start some work on it.
Look here,
I
Asley, a
don't
long time
remember
that. Don't
where,
even
but
bother say that, please, please, please.
no,
No,
I don't
no
say
bother with
no,
that.
man.
No bother with that.
No, no,
Because
no. I'm just saying
they've
that
been
people
saying
have
that
been
for how
talking about
long now?
and it has
They've
been
been
raised.
saying
So
that for how long now?
I wouldn't point the finger at J3 there. You can't blame J3 for
No,
that.
you're
No,
not.
J3
It's
it's
not.
not
No, you're
about
not
a
blaming.
blaming. What
no.
he's saying that the J3A should be able to call out the powers that be and
Who
said,
said they have
look,
it? Who
the
said they have
fact
it?
that
Who said they have it?
hold on, no,
Mm.
the fact that
All
this
the other talk.
facility is out of commission, it is
Mm-hmm.
stopping the progress and the development of track and field because the athletes have to be traveling to Kingston to
And you
have
said they
a
haven't.
meet
That's
that is supposed to be in Montego Bay. Remember, everybody working together for one goal in a one country,
No, but
So if
nobody.
if somebody not doing their part, you should be able to call them out and say, "Yo,
No,
boss, what are we
but
doing?"
it's not.
no,
No, but it's not.
no,
It's not even a matter if they haven't, because we don't know if they haven't. But the fact that it has gone for
JJ.
years,
For
this has been
years,
happening for years. I think that is a
it shouldn't
concern.
But
be.
I saw where like the parish council was supposed to do so. A lot of things mix up. The whole crazy.
But
And you
just
can't
to move
expect.
on, quickly, because we are over 2 hours. But how can we develop track and field in Jamaica as a whole? So we're talking about the sprints, we're talking about the middle and long
And
distance, and the field. How can we get that right? That we can have competitiveness when we go to a championship
Have a target.
quickly.
Have a target. Have a vision.
Yes,
And you know, and whoever it is that decides to that J3 decides to accept sponsorship from, you know allow ensure that the vision that that company has or that sponsor has is in alignment with that goal.
well
Just
said.
as our government has Vision 2030, and everything in every sector is built towards ensuring that Jamaica achieve their sustainability goals in 2030. I think that sort of level planning will be needed for Jamaica to be successful in across the different events. And I just want to highlight something. In the Sydney Olympic Games in 2000, Australia, they finished with 58 medals. So they finished with 16 gold, 25 silver, 17 bronze. Right? At the recently concluded Paris Olympic Games, Australia finished with 18 golds, 19 silver, and 16 bronze. Yes, they got 53 medals. Yes, they got 53 less medals than Sydney, but they had more gold in Paris. What I'm
Hard
trying to say is that
vision.
you can't. Yes,
Mhm.
we have. Yes, we have reached a certain height in our Olympics that has caused the Jamaican public to, to have raised expectation for athletes. But at the same time as well, instead of tempering the expectations of the fans, why not try to elevate the goals or the targets of the institution? Elevate it in such a way where, yes, even if we don't achieve our goals totally at the end of the period, there are tangibles that we can work with. At least we can say, okay, Jamaica, yes, Jamaica never get the 15 or 13 gold medals that we were aiming for. At least we can say that, okay, across from the 100 to the 100-meter hurdles, the 110-meter hurdles, we all had finalists. From the 400-meter hurdles, 800 meters, 1500 meters, we all had finalists in these events, right?
Well said, well said, well said. I don't even have to add to that. You see, the minute you said vision, it done. That's all we need. We need to have a vision moving forward, and that is it. Let us look at the relay. Why is it that we are not taking the relay seriously? I cannot remember the last time Jamaica did not medal in the relay. Not even one medal we get around this time. And I realized that I see athletes bypassing relay duties and to focus on individual. No, I am not knocking anybody for their individual success, but what I'm saying, the competition is at a certain level. The competition individually is at a certain level. Why are we bypassing? Does it make sense to bypass the relay where you can get a medal, win a medal, and to be able to, and that will increase your earning powers? Does it make sense to bypass relay?
uh,
I don't know. Tell me, because this season I see where a lot of people bypass the relay, and it shows in our in our result. Not one medal, not one relay medal. And let me say this, guys, and you will hear it, maybe hear it first on this show on HP Chat Track. The World Relay next year is the qualifying for the World Championship in Japan. Let me say it again. The World Relays next year will be the qualifier
What we do
for
next year?
the qualifying for the World Championship
Olympic in
next year.
Japan.
No, nobody can say them never hear it. I'm gonna keep repeating it on this show into next season.
First of all, we have had the track and field meets, the development track and field
It,
meets.
I went just step for a minute. Right?
No problem. We have
Okay,
been
okay.
yeah,
Mhm.
we have been having the development track and field meets. Always wonder though why we don't run the release at these events. Because normally at the development meets, you would have sometimes 30 to 40 athletes running the 100 meters or running the 100-meter heats and so forth. I'm like, that's basically 10 relay teams there. The thing about is that I said the thing about, like, if there are things that we can do to help our relay prospects.
Do we care?
The thing about it is that, as relates to the mixed relay, the mixed relay, it seems as if the approach is, when you run at nationals, and then we look to see who are the persons who will be running on the national team, who make the national team, and then when they make the national team, then we assemble the mixed relays squad. And the thing about is that that approach can only take us so far. We can run the mixed relays and the other relays throughout the circuit, throughout the different meets that we have on the local circuit, right? You run it regularly, right? You have different groups or different individuals who would run the relays, different legs and all these things. I remember we were talking in Pegasus, and you said to me that there are some persons who may not be strong in their individual event, but once you give them a baton in their hand, they're different individual. So the more you run, the more you run the relays on the circuit, is the more you get to see who are the individuals who would be good relay runners, who would definitely, you know there'll be individuals who you can probably carry at the world championships, right?
You
Instead of
know,
just
you
the top
you know
picks.
something? Let me cut you a little bit. You know what I was calling for this year at the Gibson Relay? I was calling for our professional athletes to run at the relays in the senior level. And I was proposing Team Shelly, Team Sharika, and Team Elaine. So Elaine would pick out her team, Shelly would pick her team, and Elaine would and Sharika would pick their team, and you would have those team battling, the college team battling with UTech, Sprint Tech, whichever other team. That was one of the things that I said, and I was saying it on my show, hoping that the Gibson Relay would put something together that would electrify the crowd and use it as a pull for the relay, because I think it would have been a good thing. I interviewed a gentleman from Trinidad, a Trinidad journalist, when we were at the Pegasus, and I interviewed a lady from the Bahamas. She was also a sports official, and I asked the question: why is it that when we have our relay, our track and field meet in Jamaica, we're not seeing the rest of the Caribbean? Why is it that our meet is being supported by America? Africans, a lot of Africans come to the Vanica, the Talu, and the whomever them from that side come to Jamaica to. Why is the Caribbean not supporting the Caribbean? No, we have the Jamaica Invitational, and we have even Europe came to Jamaica this year. We had Dina, we had the quarter miler that got the silver medal at the Olympic Games. We've had so many other people from other continents. why is it that our other parts of the world, why is it that the Caribbean is not supporting the Caribbean? Why is it that we don't have teams from Trinidad, team from Bahamas, team from Barbados coming to our relay carnival in
Do they
Jamaica? Why?
do,
What
do
happened
they
to
have
that
a team?
relationship?
Do they have a team?
But we see them
Well,
compete, don't we see them compete at the Olympic Games? Don't they had
they,
teams at the Olympic Games?
yeah, they had.
Granted, they might be
Well,
all over, but what I'm trying to say, put together even a B team and send them to Jamaica. Because only a few countries I
But
see put their A team out there when they're running. Europe is very good at putting their A team. Europe don't care. They put their star people out there. So I'm just saying, why is the Caribbean? Because the lady on the interview, she was calling for the Caribbean to support each other so that we can become a powerhouse. But I said it to her, we have track meet here. And the rest of, we don't see the rest of the Caribbean. We might see one or two. We might see the ones who train here.
no,
So we'll
no, but no, it's the same thing with the other. It's the same thing with the other trap meets as well. Like if you look at the, like for example the trap meet in Grenada, you know
we
how
go to
many,
Grenada,
we
we go to
usually, yeah,
Bahamas,
Jamaicans
you know,
just
we go
go.
there.
Yeah.
you know, it no, but the thing is, yes, Jamaicans go to the Grenada, but how many of the other Caribbean nations go to Grenada?
Well, I don't
Um,
know, and that's what
Even
she
you
was
even
know,
saying.
you
That's
even
talk
what
about
in
she,
Guyana too. Alien pumping Guyana that thing.
you talk about, yeah, you talk about like Bermuda. When Bermuda, well, but Bermuda is more USATF, so sorry about that.
Well, Bermuda don't
but
But
really have much
our
athletes, really.
but our flop in the relays shows this year. Our flop in the relays shows that we did not take the relays seriously from day one, from the season started.
I
No,
hope
we
that
have not really taken relay seriously. We just go to championship and put the top four in our relay and hope that whichever medal we get, we say, okay, yes, we
I
should be
hope that
happy that we get a medal, a bronze medal when we deserve the gold.
I hope that that change. I hope that that changes though, because
I don't know.
um you know, I hope that changes. But I think it also has to start at the top as well. I think
Hmm.
then the relays participations need to be compensated outside of the, just winning a medal or making it to the final. Athletes should be compensated for making the relay pool. They should be compensated for, being at relay practice and so forth. Because at
But
the
you
end of
see,
the day, because at
but
the
the
end of the
thing, the
day,
thing is, the thing is with that. Remember, it is your country that gives
Right,
you the opportunity to
right.
go out on the world stage and make
Yeah.
money. Because remember, if you don't win at championships or run a championship, you can't negotiate a good contract. Sponsors want you to wear their clothes at global championship. And if
Mm.
you notice when most of our athletes go to a championship and do well, they can come back and negotiate a very good
yeah,
contract.
yeah,
the
but
country the country gives you, that's the opportunity
no,
you get when you compete for a country.
but the
Exactly.
argument, but the argument as relates to release is that the shoe companies, they are more, their incentives are more coming from participation in the individualized event
Individual. We hear
and
that.
not
Yeah.
necessarily the relay
Not
event.
necessarily, not necessarily, because
That's the
you
word out
can
there.
win a gold medal in the relay and you are able to negotiate a good contract because you're an Olympic champion and you never win a medal in the individual. So to me, I agree that the individual medal will carry more weight if you win the gold medal or the silver medal or the bronze medal. But if you drop out in your individual event and you win an Olympic gold medal, you can use that as your bargaining chip. You that
Well,
increase your
well,
earning
well, well, well,
powers.
well, well,
Well,
HP. I've heard that. I've heard
that's what
that.
I thought, but I've heard a coach who saying otherwise. But
Yeah,
No,
I've
so
heard
anyway,
hold
that.
on. So let me ask you. So if all right, let's say for example, I go to the Olympic Games and I drop out in the first round of my event and I
mhm.
win an Olympic gold medal in the relay. Which of those two performances will give me a good contract?
First of all, they're gonna probably look at your split. So they,
No,
when
I'm
you look at a
asking the
sprint
question. Which
relay,
of those two performances will allow me to negotiate a good contract? The gold
Well,
medal,
um,
I am an
I
I
Olympic
don't know if it
champion.
well,
does.
I don't
If
think
we
it
are to
does, you
But
know.
believe
it
one of the
has.
top coaches in Jamaica, it doesn't. If
Yeah,
we are
it
to
doesn't.
believe,
If we are to
So
right?
believe,
so hold on. So you're saying if I go to the
No, not
Olympic
what
Games
me
and I
saying. No,
no, I'm
not
just
what we
asking.
saying.
I'm just trying to understand the
Yeah,
rationale.
but I know,
So
right?
if I drop
and he's
out,
not the only one who I've heard said that.
so hold on, let me
Yeah,
understand it. So if I drop out in the first round of my individual event and I win a gold medal in the relay, it doesn't help my
4x1,
contract?
4x4 mixed relays.
It doesn't help my contract?
You
It,
may get the
That's what you're
prize
saying?
money. You may get the
yeah,
prize
No,
from
may I
money
talk
contract.
about a
What about the
contract.
contract?
That gold medal in the relay doesn't help my contract?
From what
unless you
we
split a very
heard,
unless you run a very good split.
Oh wow.
yeah,
So like for
that's
example, if you're a 400-meter runner and let's say you split 43-9 or
43,
44
4 flat.
or
Say that
44 flat, at least they can say, well, what happened in the first
potential
round was, yeah, let's see the potential. But if you're
anomaly.
somebody who but if you're somebody who ran 44-9 or even 45 split, but the
But,
still team
but
still managed to
you
win.
could be a gold right. You could be a gold medal winner, but you run 46 seconds.
So my gold medal in the relay no make no sense.
No, that's
Wow.
it make sense. I mean, you have
I
earned
have
that.
to go do
You
I have
know,
to go do a little research on that.
nobody can deprive you of that right. But
I have to
you
go
know,
do. But
But then
let us quickly look at some rules before we go on communication. All right. We just talk about the relays and we talk about Kemba, no reserve and all of that. We talk about that again. What does the rule say when there's a photo finish in an event? Where do you go to decide who is the winner, who gets the gold medal or the silver medal or the bronze medal, or if there's an actual tie?
let me. I'm going to answer that. I
Okay,
have
good.
done so much answering on this. Currently, the placing in a race from 100 all track races, 100 meters to 10,000 is done by the foot. No, let me say it again. The placing is done by the photo finish system.
mhm.
So fancy camera and all that set up, it take all the images and that, and then they use a computer and a cursor, a line is drawn to separate one athlete from the other, from the other, from the other. The
Using the
torso,
torso.
the torso is used, not the hand, not in the head, not a foot, the torso, which is from the collar, the shoulder here to your waist. That is
Mm-hmm.
what.
I want to ask a
It
question.
is not
Is
as
it the
far as the
agent?
waist,
You know,
is the
Yeah,
upper torso.
yeah.
exactly, because I was
Well,
gonna ask.
Is
Because
the
I was
upper
gonna
torso,
ask.
yeah.
Because
well,
I was
the
gonna
torso.
ask.
All right. The
Is it
torso
that
is
Yeah,
you go
it's
just to
really
waist.
the upper torso. That's what
no?
I
But
read.
no. But the
The,
question
the,
is it that
thing I said,
they
it's a torso. Anyway, continue. Yeah.
is it that there is a certain percentage of the torso that has to be in front, or is just once the person's torso is in front, that's it? Because why I ask that question now, because if you look at somebody when somebody's leaning or when athletes are leaning, right? Yes, a person, yeah, it's a portion of a person's torso may be ahead of somebody else, right? But
For
suppose
example,
that they have, yeah,
if they twist like this is what you're saying?
yeah,
If they twist and then twist like that
if they
here,
twist like this and so forth. So is it that is that it has to be like the that entire
no, the rule
torso?
says
All right,
nothing about
let me
the
see if I
rule
can
just says
answer.
torso.
Let me
It
see if I
doesn't
can
state any percentage or anything like that. Because
All right, let
I
me see if
mean,
I can answer based on what I've read. I've read something and it
I
says
mean, I
there
have the rule.
is where the camera is, there is a beam, and that beam looks for
Hmm.
the first torso. So once that beam picks up the torso, it grabs it. And that's the person that it records first. So if you look at Kishin and Noah, even though Kishin was leaning in, his torso here, he kind of lean and tuck. So he pulled here in while Lives was something like this. So even though the both of them were leaning, Kishin was kind of leaning, kind of. He pulled in here while what's his name go out. But the
It's
reason why I asked the question is because I heard. Go ahead, Ozzy.
yeah, it's the first the torso that touches the finish line.
Right, the beam, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Touches the finish line, right?
Yeah. Because
Okay.
computer,
I
so
mean,
what it
I can
does,
put the rules and all that, but
yeah, it's the
So it doesn't.
computer and it has a beam at the finish line
So it doesn't
and
matter. So it doesn't
it
matter the
looks for
set.
here
it's not
and
really
it knows the
it's not really
difference.
what it does in the current system, it is a camera with a very small, I don't want to get too technical,
No, the
small
reason why I
aperture.
call it a beam
One
is because it's
pixel.
kind of a, yes, yeah.
So it takes
So so
the current technology, it takes about 40,000 images per second and then it reconstructs. Um, it's a very, very, very narrow opening it looks at.
I call
That's
it a
beautiful.
beam.
And it takes that and it reconstructs it and put by the images. And
no,
in fact, you don't need time for the finish.
no,
But
but
when we used
no,
to
but
finish and run on the ground or up and down on the road, we don't need time to determine first, second, third, fourth.
no, but the
The
thing
both
about
teams are the same thing. First, second, third, fourth. Time is
but then
important because of our spans. We in a final, that is in a final, we need to know performances, but you don't really need the time to judge who will
no,
come first, second, third, or fourth. And for
but
workers
then the
and
thing.
all that, of course, right?
But then the question is, the
Mhm.
question is, do you think that it is fair to both athletes if it is that the- you know, whether or not they win gold or silver is assessed based on, who reaches the torso first because in a photo finish. Why I ask that question, because it goes back to what HP said. When again, Mr. Kishane Thompson, right? When he
Mhm.
crossed the line, his symmetry was this way, right? Versus Noah's symmetry, when Noah crossed the line, Noah leaned forward.
Right,
So in an
exactly.
instant like that, shouldn't they have shared the gold medal? Given that it was just like those
Experts
fine,
No,
experts are saying that they should share the
no.
gold medal because what they
because of
did,
those fine, because of those.
they went down to the time. And if you're
No, the
supposed to
time
go
is
down to,
incidental. The time is incidental. The photo
so
finish,
why
the
Not
did,
rule. I can
but
quote
they
all the
went the,
rules.
but they
no,
go
no, no,
down
but
to time, they go down to
Yes,
no,
they
time.
did go down
we're
to
not,
the time.
no,
But the
based
rule
on
says the photo finish system is what is used for placing.
no, but the
No,
base, but
and the World Athletics display times in increments of zero point zero 0.01 of a second.
Mm-hmm.
But because somebody can fall between zero point zero 0.01, they have to give the time. If you went
no,
it
but the
by
thing,
2 inches. Sorry. Yeah,
well,
go ahead.
but sorry about it. But the thing about is that we understand that based on the rules, Noah defeated Kishin.
Yeah,
What you really have to assess though is that would it be fair to
it
both
is fair.
athletes if such
Torso. It
fine
is fair.
margins separate the two of them?
If
Reason
It
it
being,
is
is as
fair.
because it
I
could
fair,
think
have
it
been the
is
other way.
fair.
if it's even the thickness of a
Because it could
hair,
have been
if
the
you
other
go,
way around.
huh?
It
The
could
other
have
way
been the
around,
other
where
way
it's a
around.
Jamaica, where is it Kishane who had won, but Noah just narrowly lost.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and
It
we
would have been
have
the
been the
same thing.
beneficiary. All right, let me. I don't want to stray from the point.
It happened with Merlin. It happened
I,
between Merlin,
we
Ati, and
have
Gail
been
Divas.
beneficiary.
It
I keep
happened
on
with
hearing people
Veronica.
talking about
Veronica won
yes,
2007 World
No,
Championship.
no, no. But the thing about
Veronica won the 100 like that,
the meters.
leaning from about two
no,
meters, five
no,
meters out. Veronica
but
was,
no, but the thing about is that
and she
I'm not
stole
saying.
it on the line.
I'm not sure
It
enough
was a
for
No,
any.
photo
the thing,
finish.
no, no, no. The thing about it that I'm not saying that yes, we have been beneficiaries of this rule. But what I'm trying to say is that I'm speaking of the rule in general, whether it benefit for Jamaica or the USA. I'm saying
Oh,
that for such fine
mhm.
margins, should we really separate two athletes
Yes.
by such
Why not?
fine
I
margin?
guess if you have the
Yes.
technology to do it, I would,
Yes.
you know what I would love
The
to
fact that you
see?
say margin, the fact that you say margin mean
There
one is
is a
different from the other.
difference. Yeah,
Right.
but you know what? You know what I would love to see, Ozzy? I would love to see that photo finish between Karen and Sharon in 2008 to
You,
see if it look anything like that. I don't know.
you want to
I'm
send
going
it to
to.
you? I can send it to you.
Yes,
I have
yes.
it.
Send
No,
it to me.
I have it.
it was
I have it.
Yeah,
they were
I would love to
basically
look
listing.
at it again.
It
All
couldn't
right,
be. It
Kino.
couldn't be
All
separated.
right, hold
I
on.
have it. I
Coach
have it. I
Kino
can
is
send it to you
saying.
when you're finished.
Yeah, send it to me. Coach Kino is saying, but the rules not say 100ths of a second, but then bring it down to one
No,
thousandths of a second.
no.
Hello.
Yeah.
All right,
I've heard that rules don't exist.
the work the rules specify that the equipment must be able to measure down to 1,000th of a second, and it includes everything right up to 10,000 meters.
But what does the rule say? Do you go
The
100 or you go
rule says
1000?
that the photo
Let's
finish
go
system
1,000.
determines the placings.
So it was the
Yeah, so
photo finish that they used to determine it. So
Exactly,
why
that's what they
are
use.
other people discussing 100ths of a second, 1000ths of
Because
a
them
second?
don't read the rules. Them don't just take time and read the rules. The rule
no.
says photo finish system determines the placings, and then
But
if they accept that, then everything fall in place after that.
Yeah.
but then I'm gonna add to that as well
Yeah,
is
man.
that yes,
I can.
as track fans we must read the rules, but at the same time as well, I think World Athletics can do a better job in explaining the rules as well. Just as how in
It's
cricket
simple. You
and in
can't explain
football,
it simpler than that.
as
But
how no, but
if
just as
they
how in
say
cricket,
if they say the photo finish is what decide, then to me it's clear. It's very
It is
clear.
clear. It is
But
clear.
we're running out of time. It's so
It's
bedtime.
clear.
The next item now it goes back to rules again. Shelly and Shakari locked out of warm-up area, transportation camp, and all those things. Who would have gotten the changes to
Don't know.
update
I
the
can't
athletes?
comment. I
Because
don't know.
is
obviously,
it
hold on, obviously it worked for them the day before, because the day before they both run in the rounds of the 100-meter, turn up for the semi-final, and they're locked out. Who would have
All right.
changed those rules, and who would have gotten the changes to update
well?
their team?
What I will
So,
say is that I'm a part of a track and field group, and a member who was there on a team commented that the rules were communicated.
when?
You know,
To all the athletes
the rules
in
were
time
communicated to the rules were communicated to the team leaders, and the team leaders would have communicated
to
the
the
same
athletes.
to the athletes at a athletes for a specific nation.
Okay, makes sense. But
So
was the information passed on to the team, the
Jama-
athletes?
and that's the problem. We don't know if Jamaica got the information in time to pass on to pass on
All and
um
sundry. Everybody.
All
yeah
right. So
to everybody.
my next question is, when was the rule changed? Did the rule change on the day, or was it changed overnight?
All right. From what I have seen, videos not by Jamaicans, by other people, other nations. Some of them have some accent mechanic, and they were commenting about it because it's Shelly and Shakari is two big
Right.
stars.
Mm-hmm.
And what is consistent is that it was changed overnight. It was
Yes,
it's an
and
overnight change.
and what
And I've
was
heard that elsewhere too before. Hmm?
and what was said was that they were it's not as if they were it's not as if they were not prohibited from going on the warm-up track. It's just that the area that the
The
athletes would
entrance,
enter, the
enter,
entrance,
it was
you
removed.
know,
They had to walk
yeah,
like would have
they
to
had to
walk.
walk.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah,
And I get
as
to understand that walk would have been like 30 minutes. That's ridiculous. For them to
well,
walk to the other
I don't
gate
know.
that they wanted them to come through,
I
the
don't know. I
walk would have
didn't.
taken them 30 minutes to get there. That's kind of ridiculous.
Because what the
To
person
walk
was
30 minutes and then to go run
because
in a semi-final. No wonder Shakari looked the way she looked
well, no,
in the semis.
So,
because
but
because what that person was hinting at, the person was possibly hinting that it could be the fault of the athletes, and not necessarily the officials.
Meaning what? The athletes
I
got the
heard.
information but did not act on it? Hmm?
I don't know.
I don't know for
And
Jamaica, but
what is
it was
instructed?
I
it
would
was
love
supposed
to
to be
know. I would
it was
love
supposed
In,
to
to
be
in
implied
know.
for the other
well,
athletes.
I would love to know
For
if they got, if the rules was changed within adequate time, the
I heard
information
it
was
was
passed
overnight.
on to the team lead in adequate time, and the athletes were able to get that information in adequate time so they could make their way to the camp to be picked up in the bus to be dropped off at their right spot
and and
for
and
warm up.
and that's a problem again. Like this situation happened a week ago, and all now we don't get a clear
Oh no, no
outright
press
answer.
conference, no
Well,
update to
Nothing has been
explain.
said
look,
about
well,
it.
is it worth it? I mean,
Yeah,
the
man, we need to
all
know.
indications
Worst.
are no. Wait, hold on. All okay. There was a little hiccup, but all indications were that they got in time and were able to warm up properly and all of that. So I mean,
No, 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 no. The warm up time I heard because of where
mhm.
they had to walk.
No,
Because if you watch the
I heard.
video, if you watch the video, I think
Mhm.
Shelly leave first and started walking, and then Shakari, somebody came and tell Shakari to get up, and then they started walking. And
The
what
per
I heard is
All
that
right.
the
Shelly
person
did
was
not, they did not get enough time to warm up to
well,
take the
well,
track for the
No, I heard
semi-final.
I heard otherwise. Because
yeah,
I mean,
the person
and
who
somebody
commented.
close contact with
So you
the
get it
athlete.
from good source. I got it from
Yeah,
good source. So we don't
that
know.
that
No, because the
it did
person
not.
who had
He wasn't
commented,
affected at all by
yeah,
the thing.
the
On
No,
person
but
who had
hold on
TVJ,
commented.
there.
on
So hold
TVJ.
on. If they
Mhm.
have to walk 30 minutes
No,
to
no,
the
no,
other
no.
gate,
Did they walk?
That's the next question
I
too.
don't know. I
Right.
don't know.
Exactly. Exactly. They were held up at the gate, but I
So
Because
how
some
be-
did they
they
get
got him.
there? How did they get
Don't
to the
know.
other gate?
we
So
don't
you
know
don't
that.
know, I don't know,
I
you
don't
don't
know
know.
if they
So
were allowed in afterward or they went to another gate. But I heard that they were well, not they. That Shelly what happened did not affect her warm up. That's what I heard.
how would it not affect
Yeah,
her warm up when she was
and it's
held
the
up
same,
at the gate?
and it
Yeah,
was
but
the same thing for
if
Shikari.
you come early, so you're held up for 10 minutes, for example,
Yeah,
it
so
not
yeah,
affect
so
you.
that so 10 minutes still gone out of your warm up, so it still would
No,
have
but
been
maybe you plan
affected.
to start warming up at hour's time. You're not
No,
going
man,
just
no,
going and
no, no,
warm up
no.
straight away.
It still would have affect your time. It still would have
No, not
affect your
No, but
time.
necessarily.
Come on,
No,
no, no,
no,
Ozzy,
no,
think
no, no,
about it.
no.
no,
Think about it.
no.
What I heard as
If I
well
reach the
is
gate
that
an hour and a half before and I go and warm up 45 minutes before my
You
race,
know something? I'm going to try and
I'm
get the
just saying it
information
doesn't
on this
necessarily mean.
because
Eh?
you want
Hmm?
think you right and me want think me right.
No,
So
no,
no,
we're
no,
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 going to
no,
no,
get
no,
so
no,
no, no. No,
no,
just
no, no,
go,
no.
if you reach
HP.
yes.
early,
I heard
I don't
similar
think
to
Shelly
what
Ann going to cut it so
Ozzy.
she does as she reach through the gate, she just
So
run go
why would
warm up.
why would Shelly Ann withdraw if she had enough time
She
to
was
warm
She
up
was
warming
it
and
was
up.
it was it
She
was
was
it was
warm.
again.
The report was warming up, and in the
Mm-hmm.
process of warming up, she felt some discomfort. She was
Mm-hmm.
warming up because I saw the camera at TVJ I was watching. They picked her up in the warm up here. She was talking to the coach and laughing and all that sort of thing.
so she was going to run then.
Yes,
Yes,
but
she
then
was warming up. Yeah. Similarly, Sharika was in the warm up era too and is there for the 200, and that's when the decision was
But
made.
you know,
Camera picked her up.
I still have my
Mm,
original question. Was
mm.
the information communicated to the athletes?
I can't answer that.
can't
Because
But
answer that either.
why would two of the biggest stars in women's sprinting not abide by the rule?
What
and
I would say,
and
what I would say is that, in my honest opinion,
mhm.
I think it's this whole situation could possibly be the responsibility of the bigger heads, but it's that type of situation where you don't want to call out nobody, so
No man,
let's
call
keep
them out,
quiet.
man. Why
No.
you,
I
listen?
well, I wouldn't try and guess. I have
And this
no
is why
idea.
I'm asking the question because
Yeah, right.
is either the organizers, the officials of Paris made the mistake, or the Jamaica lead team lead or the athletes? My question is, which one of them dropped the ball that this drama happened? Was it the athletes? Was it the Jamaican team lead? Or was it the organizers did not communicate the information on time? That is all I
And
want to know.
it's quite possible that other athletes were also affected, but because they may not be as big a profile
Bigger
athletes as
profiles. Yes, as
Karen
Sherry
and
and Shakari.
Kelly and
And that is
Kofi.
why I want
But
to know who dropped
but
the ball. So when I'm having
as I
a
say, I saw some
conversation,
videos from people from other countries who were talking about it and mentioned the fact that the rule was changed overnight. No, you asked a good question. The fact that it changed overnight, it doesn't necessarily mean that people were not
Mm-hmm.
advised. They could have been advised. So, back
and
to
that
your
is,
question.
but what is overnight though? What is
Yeah.
overnight?
Me think overnight mean, well, this evening I come and I can't come through. You say today, tomorrow morning I come and I can't come
And,
through.
and
That's
and you see,
overnight.
there are so many questions that you have to ask to really find out who dropped the ball. Because, all right, let's say they change the rule at the end of that day.
Yeah.
They changed the rule at the end of that day. They would have contacted all the team lead and said, look, I don't know if
They
they
should,
use WhatsApp group. I don't know how they communicate. Contact
they
them
should
and
have.
said,
Should have.
look, as of tomorrow, all athletes will need to be in the village to be transported to the warm-up area. When the team lead, so Akil would change the rule. He would contact me and give me the information, and then I contact you, Ozzy, and say you need to find yourself here. So within X time, I'm still asking the question: if all of that was communicated, is it that Shelly and Shakari decided that they are not going to leave
Can't
where they
answer that,
are?
man. No idea at all.
Very good. So that is what I would like to get to the bottom
No
of.
idea
Okay,
at
then
all.
yeah, the
And
next thing
the reason
now
why I
is
didn't worry about it is because I heard that they were in there in good time still. It's just that there was a
no man,
little.
but it's still a concern. It is still a
Yeah,
concern
I don't
because
know.
that
I don't
should have
know.
never happened.
It
That
should
should
not
have
have
never
happened, but it,
happened.
yeah, but
Yeah, and that's the thing with me. That's the difference with me. Not
uh,
because it work out, it mean
no,
everything
no,
okay.
yeah, but
You
you never
understand?
think it that
But that's
important,
just
really.
me still. That's just because you could see that Shakari was not
The,
comfortable with
to
certain
me,
things. Because
there
during
were
the
there were more
semi-final,
pressing issues in Paris. For example, inadequate warm up facilities and all of that. That was a problem. That
and
was
that's
a
the thing.
problem.
And that's the thing. If
That's
we
a
don't have
problem.
the conversation, nothing going to get fixed.
That
Fans
was a
just going to
problem.
walk away blaming this person, blaming that
That was
person,
a
and
problem.
the person who is to get the blame is still there making the same mistakes. But anyway, now we are going to close with this is the before we close, Noah Lyles and COVID. Noah Lyles again. Noah lies on COVID.
What?
Should they have allowed Noah to compete, to come back in
He
the competition area with COVID if he had COVID?
he wasn't the only athlete with COVID that
But we know
who
that
was
other
competing.
athletes were
Yeah.
tested,
They have
Yes,
other athletes from
other
other
athletes
countries had
from
so
COVID.
other
it was
countries had
okay to
COVID.
compete with COVID then.
Well,
Yep.
Must have
well,
been because Noah compete.
IOC, IOC, it is said IOC and them COVID thing. It wasn't as drastic as 2021.
So the COVID that we had in 2020 and 2021 is a different COVID we have, you know?
I can't.
No, me just a ask because
No, it's a reasonable
2020 and 20,
question.
listen,
It's a
2020 and
reasonable question
2021,
because
they would have locked you up. They would lock
no,
you
I
up
guess the
if you're not
protocols
6 feet
no,
apart.
and
Because
protocol
yeah,
no different
I
and
know,
all
I
that.
know you
But
guys don't like having certain discussions, but these are the questions I like to
no, no,
ask
no, no.
because
I think I thought of the same question to what I can't say it.
oh, and
That's
the
why I
next
put up my hand.
and the next thing
anyway, we're
too.
gonna close here now. Because
Sorry,
I don't
I just
really
want
want to take me on in the
No, we can't
discussion.
no,
say
no.
it.
I want and next thing too is that I think another thing too is that when person's talking about how Noah has COVID and could be partying the way he is partying, trust me, people no people sick and people party the same way. Because you also
Okay,
have
Yeah.
to understand,
yeah.
you have to also have to understand is that him having COVID doesn't mean that he is experiencing
That's dying.
The
the
symptoms.
the symptoms, yeah, the
Or he's
symptoms at the
adversely affected. Yeah.
Well,
are
what I
adverse
heard about
affected.
the partying, I heard about the partying. In fact, I haven't seen it myself, but somebody
So
put on the
so
fact
it
that
wasn't the COVID then that he lost the 200. He just get beaten.
no,
No,
I
COVID
can't.
or no
No, I
COVID,
think
didn't
he
get
was suffering
beaten.
from something because in the warm up area I noticed not warm up. The call room. He was masked up before the race.
I saw
No,
that and I was wondering why
yeah,
he had
I
on
was
a mask.
wondering why he
No,
had
I'm
his
just
But
trying to
no,
understand
no,
the
but
whole COVID
no,
thing.
but
'Cause
no,
if
but
the COVID not stop him from partying and everything, that mean
no. The
he just
partying
get
was
beaten in
after
I
now.
no,
200.
no,
I know the
The
partying
no, but
party,
you
was
have to,
after, but I'm
yeah,
saying so
but
he
you have
just
to,
get
showed it.
beaten then in I 200.
No, I heard he showed his medical. He posted it online. His medical thingy. Apparently, he might have expected some backlash. So he posted a copy of his clearance certificate, that in COVID test was negative before in party.
yeah,
I
but the
haven't
thing,
seen it
no,
myself, but I
no,
No,
but the
but
know.
thing about it,
when I missed my question. But anyway, make we move on because
No,
I
as to why
mean
he
I
lost,
want
he
to, no,
was
no,
the
no,
answer
but I want to, but I want to say though, even if Noah Lyles
was
was
ready.
at was ready, you have to understand, Tobago basically ran. No, it only has one time faster than that time, 1945, and that was when he ran his personal best in Eugene, Oregon. That was after that, and that time when he ran it, he was only doing the 200 meters at that championship. That
Then
100
in
meters took
19-3.
yeah, when he ran in 19.3, that 100 meters
But,
took a lot, took a toll on Noah. Trust me,
um,
Tobago was
all right.
never
With that
losing that
said,
race.
I guess
it would
no,
have taken too long to go, but
I was just concerned that
He probably that pushed Tobago to 19.3.
I was just concerned that
probably,
Noah
probably.
had COVID. Noah was actually tested positive and they
Mm.
allow him to compete because I thought that COVID, you're supposed to
No,
stay isolated and all of that. But I
no,
guess it's a
no, the
different
compete
COVID.
part is like you. I have the same question about when he was competing
But let us
because
look at
he had
some
on the mask and then go compete with and then even after
and
the
then
race,
go
they
hug up the
embrace
guys
people
them
and
and
all.
all them
Yeah,
thing.
right,
But
right.
anyway, it is what it is, and people don't want to talk about it. Anyway, let us look at some memorable moments that are put together. The first one for me is Sifan Hassan winning the marathon. No
Yeah,
thoughts on no thoughts on Hassan winning the
yeah, no, yeah.
marathon,
That
guys?
was my first memorable moment, but that's why I hesitate.
I think that's just brilliant. I think that's just
No, it
brilliant.
was. I mean, the what 5,000, 10,000 marathon. Heck,
Yeah. I mean,
ooh,
she's awesome, man. She's brilliant. She's brilliant. The
in
next
fact,
one for me, go
mhm.
ahead. Because we're not going to spend
Yeah,
too much time on these
no, no.
because
I was
we're
thinking
approaching
that,
three
that
hours
was
now.
the
Another,
event that probably she a marathon. I don't think she maybe two marathon or one marathon she
I
ran
think
before
maybe
or
this
something
is
like
our
that.
second marathon or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So I thought that was probably our weakest event, and particularly after doing the
No,
5,000, 10,000.
no, it
She's
wasn't
good,
our
man.
weakest event.
No, well, we know that after the fact we
I
can say
actually
that. No,
no
we can
man.
say that
Even
after the fact.
before,
Even
even
before,
before,
because I think she came
marathon was our
second.
best.
Huh?
Yeah.
Marathon was our best race.
Yeah.
It was our
How?
best race because
I think one marathon is supposed to run more.
even the 5,000 and the 10,000, I was
Mm.
more expecting her to get gold in the marathon over those events.
No, sir. Not no. Based on what?
Yes,
Yeah, man.
she has
When
won the
did she do
marathon
the
the same as
Huh?
marathon?
I
She
think
did
it
the
was
marathon
I think it's one
and
of those
did very
marathons in the
well.
US.
Yeah,
I
but
think it's
very
one of
well,
those
Yes, it's in the
marathons in the
very well,
US.
US.
and very
She
Yeah,
well.
won. I think she
What?
won it.
Yeah,
She
but
won the
She
that
won
was
it.
at the
Yeah.
time as compared to the others.
I think it was
No,
the
and
Yes.
particularly
Boston Marathon.
after doing two rounds of 5,000 and 10,000,
She good,
No, but she
man.
got
She good.
prepared. Cause
Eh?
remember, you know, she did three events at the 2021
Yeah, no, I
Olympic.
remember
No,
that.
not
Yeah,
20,
15,
she
5,
remember
and 10.
no 22 is it 22 World Championship.
Right.
She did three
At the,
events.
at the, at the Olympics. Wasn't it?
No man, no man, she never did
When
at
she
the
did the
I think
Olympics.
fifteen,
it's
the 5, and the 10.
Eugene.
It's Eugene. She did it,
Is it
man.
Eugene? Okay,
I think
okay.
so. All right. The next one that I have quickly is Julian Alfred creating
Wait,
history
my
for
most
St.
memorable
Lucia.
moment is thing there now. Is the stoner.
Okay.
That's my
Okay.
memorable moment.
Yeah, indeed,
Mm.
indeed,
That's
indeed.
my
My,
memorable
my
moment.
Yeah, I
my
have that on my list too. Yeah,
my memorable moment is that men's 100-meter final.
yeah.
Like
So,
like everybody brought it in that men's 100-meter final. The,
And
the highlight for me was
they all ran sub 10, all 8 men.
yeah.
yes, and we almost had
Upbeat was
all
last in 9.92.
we
Mm-hmm.
we almost had all men running sub 99, but the person who my respect for him grew tremendously was Marcel Jacobs.
Yeah.
Ever since his Olympic title, everybody has been saying, oh, he's a fraud. you
Yeah,
know
yeah. And
he
a fluke.
and him only have one running nine and so forth.
Yeah,
When we say Marcel Jacobs run 985 and literally after a hop up the
that's
race,
what I was waiting till you finish to mention that.
you know,
Oh, his leg
with a
was
hop
strapped up on thing.
strapped up on everything, like him give it
Mm.
everything. And I'm saying to myself, I said to myself, it just shows you how competitive the 100-meter was. Like everybody brought it.
Yeah,
Mm.
Everybody, nobody was holding
Yeah.
back from Tobago to Simbine to Benderick. Nobody was holding back
everybody.
any punches. It was an excellent final. Best final I've
Yeah, it
watched in a
was. It
very, very
was.
long
It
time.
was.
Another memorable moment was how Julie and Alfred winning the
Brilliant.
first Olympic medal in this event for Saint Lucia, and it's just how she did it in style. She was ahead of the pack and everybody behind her in a line. It was a
Yes.
beauty to
In
watch
fact, probably the biggest margin of victory for quite a while, eh?
for quite a while.
No man,
Yeah.
Olympics.
no man. Shelly Margin did bigger.
Which one? When?
Which one?
2008.
2008,
2020,
2008.
2019?
Yeah,
No, 2000.
2008. Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
Oh,
one
2008
was.
March
2008.
was bigger.
Yeah, that
Because
was
Yeah.
a
in
big, big.
2000,
Yeah.
in 2008 she ran 10.78 while Sharon and Karen I think ran
1090 something.
10.97,
Right.
10.97.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a good like 0.19 seconds.
Another moment was Tibogo, of course, we talked about him before. Another moment was it was a Caribbean affair in the triple jump. Of course, this event has been dominated by South America and Europe, and to have Caribbean on the top of the podium more than once.
English English
Yeah,
speaking Caribbean.
English speaking Caribbean.
That's a different
Yeah.
game.
Outstanding, outstanding,
Uh,
outstanding.
but I just want to
Another moment.
highlight though
Go ahead.
I just want to highlight though the 4x4s for men and women. My
Ooh.
gosh.
I was
Yes,
just
yes,
going to
yes.
They
touch that.
were those
Yeah.
honestly, like the fact that both the women and the men just almost smashed those world
World
records.
record. Yeah.
Like it just and I'm thinking about it and I'm saying to myself, USA didn't have a strong thing move. USA didn't have they didn't have Kaylin Brown on the team. There's so much. There's so many. There's so
the depth. They have the depth.
USA
The depth. Depth.
could have been a lot stronger, and the fact that they weren't as
Who would you
strong.
replace? Who would you replace on that team?
So, for example, right? 'Cause you have to
Ellie.
also look at we have to look at the fresh legs, right? So, for example, Kaylin Brown. I think Kaylin Brown could have given you a faster split. Kaylin Brown could have given a faster split than Gabby Thomas. I think if
Okay.
Kaylin Brown was in the team, and not Gabby Thomas, they would have gotten the world record. But that's okay.
Or maybe even Ellis. Or Gabby
No
Thomas.
man, I disagree. No, Ellis, Ellis is a really good athlete, and she did really well to win the U.S. trials.
Mm-hmm.
But
And has run very good
she
in relays.
You
From
see,
and
track
has
this
and
is
run
field.
very
what
good
this is
already.
what this is what I like about America. Can you imagine? You
In fact,
win your trials
in fact,
and
it caused
you're not even in the final of the relay.
it has caused some controversy too, but
No,
that's
but I'm
another.
just trying to
No,
show
I'm just saying
you.
that's US prerogative.
Yeah, what I'm
Yes,
trying to look
yes.
at, what I'm getting at. is that America doesn't stay in the box of top four or top three or top two or winners. What they do, they look for strength in athletes in other discipline and
Well,
put them
Well,
together.
well.
And
yeah, but there's
I
debate
think a
no,
lot of
about
politics.
that team right
There's a lot
now.
of politics involved. Yes, a
Yeah,
lot
no,
of
yeah,
whether
politics
right.
politics,
involved.
no,
Yeah.
whether politics are not for this event, but it's something that they've been doing for years and it's
Yeah,
been
I mean,
working.
yeah,
You
because
know, so
they
I'm
have the
just
Because
resources
saying
to have
that
the
no,
depth.
no,
That's
no,
the problem.
because,
They
no,
have to
because
they have the
no,
depth.
no, no, not about the depth. What I'm trying to
Yes,
say is that we continue to live in the top four because we have depth in
we don't.
hurdlers
I
and
hear
we're not
we
even
have
using
used
them.
our hurdlers.
No, hold on. No. Ozzy, stay with me. Just understand what I'm trying to say. Over the
Mm.
years, we've have depth in our hurdlers, 400-meter hurdlers, and we don't
Yes,
use them. Yeah, we
we
use
have
salmon.
used them. Is the point I'm trying to, we have. Go all
Ozzy,
the way back to Dion Hemmings.
Listen
Yeah,
to what I say. We're
even
not talking about
recently,
Dion
even
Hemmings time.
no,
We're
all right,
talking of
recently,
this new.
dude,
We're
Frank
even talking of
Russell,
this new
Frank
era.
no, them
Russell,
use it. They use it.
Frank
They use
Russell.
them. They use them.
Listen, guys,
Yeah,
What I'm trying to say, most times when you look at our 4x4
mm-hmm.
relay, is the
Yeah,
people in the 400-meter. No, and then they'll throw in one hurdler. No, and then they'll
because
throw
that
in a
hurdler
hurdler.
shows something that they can do something.
No, but we normally have other hurdlers where we could have used and we don't use
Like who, for
them.
example,
For
call a name.
example, during the time when Khali
Mm.
Spencer was
Khalid
running,
run on 4x4.
no, Khalees don't run in the 4x4 at global championship.
Never find
She might
No, but
run in it. She might
no,
run
no,
in it at
no, but
Pence, but
no, but
she
at, no, but at the time at the time in the 4x4 for women, if you look at the 4x4 team, the you can't just replace you can't
with a
replace Kelly
hurdler.
Spencer for the quarter with the
why not?
quarter mile
Why not? Why
because at the
not?
time
Because
We
Steve
had
with the top
Noblin
slow
Williams
better than
Mills,
her. Simple.
we had Noblin Williams Mills, we had
Exactly.
Sharika Williams, we
Stay
had
under there. Stay right in there. Stay in the box. Stay in the
Yeah,
box.
and
no,
It
Rosemary
is
White.
showing.
no,
It is
no,
showing
Ipsy,
in
I
our
agree.
results. Stay in the
No,
box.
I
Stay in the
agree with what
box.
you're saying, you know. I agree with what you're saying. But the hurdler have to show me, say them deserve her.
Agreed.
And
Anyway,
right, them not show anything.
another moment
Hmm.
was Ireland breaking 3 minutes 20 and not medal, creating history for their country. Ireland.
20,
That
20.
4x4, 320 plus.
No.
Yeah, man,
320.
3 minutes
Remember,
too.
it's not a fluke time.
No. I'm just saying
That's what I'm
that's
saying. And
probably
them no
yeah.
medal, and they
It's
don't medal.
it's
That's
a
what I'm
it's a
saying.
very few
I know.
teams
Yes.
in history have run. Yes, because
And
even
that
the
is why
Netherlands,
me
the
say
Dutch
them
team, as good
run
as
that
they
time.
are,
They run
Hmm.
that time and didn't even medal.
the Dutch team,
It's
as
no
good as
slow
they
time.
the Dutch team, as good as they are, just broke 3 minute
Yeah.
20.
Yeah, man.
And
Yeah,
Great
the Dutch
Britain,
team have 2 legs. Anyway, go
Yeah,
on.
man.
and then you look at Great Britain. Great Britain broke a 3 minute. Great Britain broke 3 minute 20. But
Yeah, man.
you think of all the teams they've had in the years, the teams with Christine Orugu and even and the fact that they were not able to
One
break
But I
3 minutes.
person.
think this team have more strength though than
That's
the
the problem.
team with Christine. Christine.
No, remember that Christine Orugu's team. Remember that they had, especially in Osaka, Japan. They
They have
had the
another girl.
gold and silver.
Sanders.
They had gold and
Sanders.
silver medals
Yeah,
too,
but they
Sanders.
wasn't as strong as this team though.
and then they had 400-meter hurdlers as well.
Yeah, but it
Um,
wasn't as strong as this team and successful
No.
as
This team,
this team.
no.
Yeah,
This
this
team is
team is
stronger, but
yeah,
this
man.
team is stronger, but
Yeah, way better.
this team is
Another
stronger. But continue,
yeah.
sorry, brother.
No, man, you're fine. Another thing that I observe is that the 400-meter for
hmm.
women, all the women ran sub 50.
I'm not surprised by that.
Amazing. The
I'm
400 is at a different level.
I'm not surprised by that because even remember I said in the prediction show that you have to run 49.4 in order to make the team. And you look at in order to make the final. And you look at the ladies who didn't even make the final. Lieke Klaver of Netherlands did not make that final. You know,
Mm.
Stace Nikisha Price did not make that final.
Amazing,
Six.
amazing, amazing.
Yeah, you know, so it could have been, say, it could have been even faster. So
But apart from Nikisha though, can we catch up?
I think just as how Nikisha's time dropped from 50.0 to 48.5,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes on to track and field, when it comes on to track and field, it really comes down to what athletes show in a given season.
Yes,
Just
indeed,
as how
indeed.
just as how she's able to have that significant drop in her PB, others can have that drop in their PB. You have people like Dejanay Oakley, who is at Texas. She ran 22 seconds over 200. Let's hope that she get no not let's hope.
She can
You would
transition, eh?
believe you would believe that she will get better next year at Texas, right? And you're hoping that she getting better. It will translate in her 100 and her 400-meter speed as well. You also have
Mm-hmm.
Joanna Felix of Arkansas. Chris Johnson is doing some amazing things at Arkansas with the 400-meter
Yeah, man,
women.
Arkansas
So,
really doing well.
and yeah, so yeah, man. So it's not
Yeah.
yeah, man. It's not that far fetched for us to really get
Yeah,
to
I
that
hope
level.
not. I hope not because for the quarter miler we've been left off the
Yeah.
podium, so many
Um,
times.
and this year, for example, what's her name again? McLeod. Candice McLeod is a
Mhm.
49 runner, but I don't know
Yes.
what happened to her season this year. So that would have railroaded us. Um, who else? I think, so we
Yeah,
could have.
that's about it really. When you look at the 400 for us, there's Stacian,
I thought
second.
Stephen would have gone like sub 50 by
Cherokee.
now. Shirky Young did 49 about what 2-3 years ago and hasn't
Yeah.
gone back there.
Yeah, and that's the thing, sometimes you'll see that
Well,
that big
to be
hit and
fair
it
to
never come again.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm still hopeful that.
yeah, but yeah, that's the thing with track and field now, because even
Exactly.
Stacy, like this is Stacy's second pro season, and this is Cherokee's second pro season as well. Thing with the 400 is that you can hit a season where your personal best literally drops by even a second.
And then
But you have
So
some you have
plateau.
some people you have some people who are consistent at it from them hit it. They just keep going up and up and up and you
Or, or
know?
so
even
like pa-
or even or even consistently close
Yeah.
to that level. Yeah, yeah.
Look at
like like
Paulina.
like
Look at Paulina. Look at Shawnee Miller, Alison Felix, People like those who just keep going and just keep getting better every season.
yes.
Can we
And
join
Sharika
that
Jackson
party?
as well. And Sharika Jackson as well.
Well,
Don't
Sharika
don't
never really stick around long. I think if Sharika had stick
Yeah.
around long in the quarter mile, I think she would have been a force to herself. But
no,
I
she,
but
I
her not-
think so.
her
I
but
think
her
so.
being a force, she
hmm?
can still be a force in the event.
Um
I don't know if she will
I
go
don't
back
think
to it. I
I
don't
don't
know.
think
I don't know. I don't know.
No,
Because
no, no, no.
remember,
But the thing,
repetition is
no,
very
but
important in
the
an
no, but
work
the
event.
thing, no, but the thing about that, she said that she
she did,
personally
yes,
herself said that she has not accomplished all of her goals in that
with the
event,
400.
and it,
Yeah, I've
and
heard that, yeah. But yeah,
But
and I
she
and I
going back to it, would that
the
help?
work, the
Would
work,
it
the
no, but
work?
work.
but the thing about it is that I think Sharika, well, and I think her coach has said it, and I think she has said it as well, that her training is structured in such a way where she actually does quarter mile training as well. I don't know how much that has changed over the years, but
Mm-hmm.
the thing about that, she's still a quarter miler at heart. So
At
Ah,
I
heart,
won't.
at heart. I don't know
yeah.
if you put if she should go into a 400-meter. No, I don't know if she'll be able to compete with a NASA, with
You mean just
a
right now?
Paulina, Shawnee
Just straight in.
Miller.
You mean just straight in now?
No,
Without
meaning if she should say she picking it up back. I
go back
don't
and do the
know.
work.
Yeah, do the work and get back into it. I don't know
Well, one
because
thing she would have over all of them significant advantages is that speed, that raw speed. So that would be an advantage. The endurance part of it, I don't know.
yeah, the
But you have,
endurance part
yeah,
is
but
yeah,
you have
you're
to
right.
also, but you have to also understand as well. Like it depends on which season she goes back to the event. Because if she goes back to the event, let's say in 2026, when there's
Woo!
no championship in that year, there's no championship in that year.
And
She
work
could
on it for that
yeah,
season.
and work on it for that season.
Or
You
for the
Yeah,
never
next year,
man.
know.
or for the next year.
You
Or
never
yeah,
know. Maybe by
Yeah,
2027. But she's what now? She is 29.
that's kind of
yeah.
what I was going to ask.
I think she
No, no, but
29 or 30.
no, I think yeah, she's 29. But what I'm trying to say is that look at Alison Felix. Alison Felix used the 400 to prolong her career. So
Yeah,
you
but
But
that's
know,
remember,
still
Alison have been doing 400 forever. Even though she didn't
yeah.
do it at championship,
Plus,
she never left it out. She never left out
That's
the
just say
400
sometimes you
meters.
like to go up to the 400. That's just well for some people it take them even 2 years for their body
It was
adjust
it was
to
easy
the,
for Allison because
to the
Allison
training
never
regimen.
left out the 400 meters.
Mm.
She was constantly a member of the 4x4 team. So she was do every season she was doing 4x4 competitively. So when she went 400 it was just so easy for her. But for Sharika who have left it from what
she has
2019
no.
2019
She actually was supposed to run the event in 2021.
Oh, Rosemary White.
right
But
2021 she did the
but she
100.
and then yeah, 2021 she was supposed to do the 100 up to the semifinals, but then she did extremely well at it. And I
She
think
was
in
supposed to do
20
it up to the semi-final. Why? They didn't
yeah,
expect her to make the final?
no, I think they wanted her to make the 4x1 team because in
Who
2019 she was on the 4x1 anchor leg, but because she was
right
not
around
a
the
part
four
of the
around the four, but was on the 4x1
yeah,
anchor. Right.
she ran, but she was on the 4x1, so she ran the 100 at trials to
Oh,
cement her
on the
spot in the
relay
4 by
team.
on the
Hmm.
4x1 relay team.
All right, Kevon Bailey on the live is saying hi. Hello, Kevon Bailey. Hi, how you doing? He's
Time to
saying
make a
how
run.
many of our 400-meter runners does the 2 and the 8?
I don't know.
Not a lot. I can't think of any.
How many what was the question, sir?
Kevon is asking how
Oh,
many
does
of
the
our
two or the
400
eight?
meter runner does the 2 or the 8? Not a lot. They do it at most of them do it at the junior level, and by the time they get to pro, they're doing 100. So
Yeah,
I
not
don't
even on
know.
this well, the eight.
They wouldn't
Ooh.
even go to the 2. How can you be a 400? Well, in Sharika's case, she's still doing the 2. But how
I
can you
mean
be a 400-meter runner and leave from 4 and gone to 1 and don't even want to run 2 anymore? I don't know. But
I'm
I would love for our athletes and coaches to have a little talk about the
and
200 because
we hear
the 200 is empty. The 200 is empty.
we hear of like people proposing that they should set the World Athletics schedule so that people can do the 2 and the 4. But again, the question when you look at the even on the circuit is very few people that even
Not
run
a
the 2
lot of
and
people doing
the
2 and 4
right.
because
Very,
not
very
not
few.
even Shawnee Miller Weibo is doing 2 and 4.
Very few though.
It's
Alice
gonna.
Felix tried it once, but I think that year when she did it, she didn't win gold in any of them.
So
I think it
very
was
few people.
Yeah, no man, she got a bronze in the 200 and she got a silver in the 400.
right. That's what I said. She didn't
Well,
win any of them.
well even,
Yeah,
that is
but
good.
that's still commendable. Yeah, that's still a
Yeah,
Yeah, man,
commendable
it is.
performance.
But her aim was the gold medal, and
but
I think from that she just kind of switched back her thing a little bit and decide which
but
one she was going to do.
But then the next year she
But the
did the
2-4 is
100 double.
tough.
But the next year she did
you
the
know
one
what happened? We
double.
might see more of it now, with Michael Johnson's proposed track league. His grouping. He has a what's it? 100 meter and 100 meter hurdle grouping. I'm dealing with the women now. I think there's a 100 and 200, and I think there's a 200 and 400 grouping.
But no,
So
I think
What does that
probably
mean?
we might see. No, you have to fall in one of those groups. So for his league, he's trying
Oh,
out
okay.
right. So it will
Oh.
be a 2-day meet. One day, all right. For example, if you're in the 100 hurdles grouping, one day run the hurdles, 100 hurdles. The following day run the 100 meters. If you're in the 200, 400 group, so for example, you're on the
So you don't have a
200.
1-2 group. You don't have a 1-2
Yeah, there's
group.
a 1-2 group. Yeah, there's a 1-2
Okay.
group.
But the problem with the setting up the 4-2 double is that the way how IAAF set up their schedule, the mixed relay from it's going to be very
Can be
tricky.
accommodated, with some
It
thought. It
can
can be.
no the thing about that, yes, it can be accommodated,
Hmm.
but you have to also take into consideration what would be the gap like between the 100 meters to the 200 meters, and what would be the gap like from
Mm-hmm.
the mixed relay to the 400, because remember the 100 meters, they normally take place on the first day of track and field. Mixed
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
relay
one
also
right.
take place on the first day of track and field. So unless you're gonna
Started the
have
second day this time.
yeah, so unless you are going to give 2 days rest to the 100 meter athlete for them to come back in the 200 heats, then you're going to hear the conversations about unfair advantage where the 100 athletes get more longer rest than the 400 athletes. So it really is a sticky schedule.
With some thought, I think they can come up with something. I mean,
What in my opinion, what would have to
I'm not saying it will
happen?
be easy. I'm not saying it will be easy to come up with, that. But I think they can come up with something.
What would have to happen is that they would have to have a day one with no 100 meters.
Let me just read a comment here. Kevin Bailey, he's so savage. Kevin Bailey is saying, I believe doing the 200 and 400 helps our athletes to be more competitive in the 400 meters. Doing the flat four is not helping. Even the hurdlers can beat the flat four runners right now.
Even which
Mm.
hurdlers can meet which flat for hurdlers.
Well, we've seen it. We've seen Rashawn Clark. We've seen Rashawn Clark doing it. We've seen Genevieve Russell can give you a good
What
400-meter also. So I see what he's saying. What he's saying is that the 400-meter hurdlers are just as good, or some of them are better than the flat 400-meter runner. And
uh,
he's also talking about Femke Ball and Sydney, which
Sydney.
is true.
in
Which is
fact,
there's some truth to it.
But to be honest,
yeah,
the way how their events are going, they have to be they have to be better than the average 400
which
meter
But the thing
athlete.
is
They
that the
have to be.
400-meter runners really shouldn't a person who is running an obstacle race, even though it's the same distance, should not be able to defeat you who running flat. So I get what Kevin is saying.
if,
The
if
400 hurdlers are becoming
yeah, if you're a 45-9
fast.
400 hurdler, for example, War Home. Benjamin, for example. Benjamin, yeah, he's a 40-16, but him is a 44-2.
Yeah, but
you
yeah,
know,
but these people run obstacles, so they're running slower than you. Cause these men they're
And
running, so they're running 47. You should be at least be men, they're running 47. You should at least be
in the
running
hurdles.
43 high. So
I
when you
know,
meet them on the flat,
Yeah, they're in the
it's supposed
hurdles.
to breeze. Breeze left them.
I know. Funny enough, I think that Rai Benjamin is the most talented 400 meter runner in the USA right now. Even more talented
400
than
flat.
Um,
the Olympic champion.
Yeah.
I,
I think
I
so.
guess on a day maybe he will give you a
I
good
don't,
400 for
If
real,
he
but
if he
to
train
run
if he
rounds,
if
I
he
don't know.
if he trains for the event,
Maybe he
I
can.
can
I
see him
think
as
he'll be, I
I see
think
him as
he'll
a
be
43
competitive,
3.
but I don't know. You could no, it could be
He's a in my
He has
yeah,
the
he
body
can be a
for it and
43.
everything. And the thing is that he is very strong.
44-2.
I
He
think
is.
he has
I think
good
44-2 is his first
endurance.
time out of the blocks, right? 44-2
Yeah,
somewhere
from
there.
and that was at that time was run a good while back.
142.
I think he's very strong. I would love. These are some of the setup that I would love to see the Diamond League doing.
Well,
Putting, matching people with
Michael
other
Johnson
people.
league with probably would take care of that. The 400
So
400
so
hurdles
where the
grouping.
400-meter hurdles fall?
I'm trying to remember now. I think he has about 8 groupings. So it could be 400 hurdles. So if in that group now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So if you're in that group, you have to run both events.
Yeah.
So what about the flat 400 people who cannot run 400-meter hurdles?
Well, you can be part
that
of
no
the
make
group.
no sense.
And so the man set up him thing. I don't know. So I'm setting it up. I wonder about that too. The people who run 100
Kevin Bailey saying doing the flat 400 meter is not helping the training. You have to mix it with a bit of something if you plan to excel. Hurdles for stamina and 200 meter for speed. We need to see some combination. It's true. We need to see some combinations in season as training for championship. I agree with that. You have to, if you're a 100-meter runner, you need fair run some 200, especially if you don't have the strongest finish. 200-meter run, mix it up with a 4. I agree. That's where track and field is going now.
I agree.
Excuse me. Wait, hold up. Yes, I have to go.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right, guys, let us wrap up.
Right.
Thank you guys for being here. It was another good night of track and field. And join me next week when I will get back.
Start next week,
Huh?
Well, June start next week.
Yes, but next week I'll get back in the interview chair where I will be interviewing an Olympian from 1972 and 1976. You don't want to miss that interview. Join me next week. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
We're running it all the way, we're in the lead. We're running it, finish line is all I see. Get up on